Hello and welcome to another live on Marlene's How To's. So, in well, first of all, if you've never been here before, my name is Marlene, and this is my sister Andrea from Andrea's Kidney Transplant Live channel. And as you can see, the background behind us, it's very tropical, and we're actually talking today about vacation planning and all the different things that come into play. So I see we have two Georgia Peaches on here. She says, "Hi everyone, ready and waiting." Well,
Hi.
welcome. Welcome to Georgia Peaches. So we're going to look at different things. We're going to look at different places where we can go. And let me just back this off just a little bit of us, a little bit more here. So we're going to be talking about, like different places that we have been to, different places you could go, some of the plans that you might want to put in place, just to make sure that your vacation is, hassle free and as easy as possible. So all of your plannings and everything. So and first to say that, oh, hi, Lorna. Welcome. So good to see you,
Welcome.
my dear. Welcome. So just to say, first of all, that we are not travel agents. We're not travel advisors. This is just based on things that we have learned from ourselves over time. And we just wanted to share them with you as you plan your vacation, just different, steps along the way. And of course, we always want to get your information. We certainly value that. So we always want to, you to add in, your piece to it, anything you think we're missing, anything you think we needed to know, or just to share some of your own experiences with us. So let's go ahead first and talk about like where would you go? Because the first thing, of course, you want to know is, where would you go? So you want to think of the different places, and there's so many different things. We live in the United States, southeastern United States, so of course, the whole country is there to explore. So you don't even have to necessarily go overseas. You can actually start with right where you are. So what we want to say though is, if you're going international, there are other things that you have to do as well, to get it going. So, first and foremost, you want to decide, are you going to be, like I said, traveling in the country, out of the country? If you're going to be going, to just neighboring territories like in the US, because there are different things that you require based on where you're going. So, first and foremost, because there are a couple of places that I've been to, you can always put in the chat as well some of the countries that you've visited apart from where you are currently, if you care to do so, of course. But for those of us who are working, you always want to make sure, first of all, that you have your PTO, your paid time off,
Yes.
that is secure. Because if you don't get the time off from work, then when you come back, you don't have a job, right? So you always want to make sure that you have your paid time off, that is all set for you, so you apply for the time. You have to check out and see, because some companies you have to see like how many people would have gone for time already. Is the time available, so you can set yours up. So you always want to make sure that you are putting that in place. And sometimes you may even be waitlisted. I don't like when I'm waitlisted. Either I'm on it or I'm off. If I'm waitlisted, I'm kind of like, what if nobody drops off and I don't get the time? And you're putting your money and your time and your investment into it. So it's kind of like, I kind of need to know for sure if I can't get it, then I'm just going to leave it as is. But so when you're traveling, then you want to make sure that there are certain papers that you have in place. So for example, like your passport, because sometimes we overlook things like this, and it could even be your driver's license, because some places you can fly on your driver's license.
Yes.
But in recent times, they have put a black star on there. So you want to make sure that your driver's license has a black star on it, so that that it is legit in terms of what they want, the new rules and regulations that are in place, so that we don't have any hassle when you're trying to travel. So that's as far as that part goes. You want to make sure that your passport is up to date. And saying that I actually need mine is still good, but I need to get mine renewed so I can, be readily available. And the thing is, too, as far as I remember, typically they take your passport from you, when you're traveling. When you're traveling, pardon me, when you are giving it to apply, they take the passport, and then you don't have one for that period of time until you get it. So, you want to make sure that you get that in place. And like I said, even the driver's license, because sometimes you may have your driver's license there on you, and your driver's license, it has expired and you didn't even realize unless someone told you. So you want to get that kind of paperwork. So your PTO, make sure that you have your paid time off all set, and that like your passport, it's good to go. Oh, Bruce Lee says, good evening. Good evening, Bruce Lee. Welcome. We are planning vacation today, and we are so excited about it. Yes. So there are also some other things too. Some countries that you may be going to, sometimes you have to have vaccines Sometimes the vaccines are recommended. There are some of them that are recommended, and some of them you actually have to have them in order to travel there.
Yes.
And this can be whether it's for a vacation that you're going on, if you're going on a mission trip, because my husband and I have done a mission trip before. So you always have to go through your checklist and make sure that you're all set for that. So that's as far as that goes. For some people too, if you come from another country and maybe you got your certificate of citizenship, so you're now a U.S. citizen, and that's for those traveling from here. So maybe you're a U.S. citizen right now, but you actually haven't gotten your passport yet. You only have your certificate of citizenship. You always want to make sure that you locate that and apply for your passport as soon as possible, because if there's an emergency or whatever, that could be a problem. You have to have it, because that can be a very big issue, because if you have a copy of your certificate of citizenship and you don't have the actual certificate, it's a whole long process in order to get your passport. So guys, just get the red tape out of the way and make sure that you have that in place. And the next thing is, wherever you're going, you always want to check the weather to make sure that the weather is going to be good for where you're going at that time. Because, for example, you may want to go to somewhere that's maybe in Europe, for example, maybe in the UK or maybe France or something like that. But the question is, what is the weather going to be like? Can you handle that kind of weather? Because I know for me personally, you may want to go for a couple of days or two and just check to see, like what the weather is like when it's cold and all of that. That might be your thing, but you have to make sure you dress appropriately, because we are from Jamaica. And so we're used to the weather being mild all the time, right? But then if you're traveling to maybe say, England or, somewhere Canada or something like that, because you've been to Canada before.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah, even like the very southern Africa, places like those, depending on the time of year, it can be very cold. And if you go there, you're not prepared. You have to spend a whole lot of money trying to get clothing for the weather that is there. So you always want to check. And of course, we typically plan our vacation, way ahead of time. So you always want to make sure that you are going in and checking to see what the weather is like in that area. And now we have so much technology, right?
Yes.
So we can always go in and check to see what the weather is going to be like for that time of the year. Just check the averages and so on. Neil Chin is on here. Neil Chin says, hi, everyone. So hi, Neil. Welcome.
Hey.
Yes. And Brucey says, you really want to make sure you check the weather. No hurricanes. Well, those are kind of unpredictable, because, it's not like you're going to know way ahead of time. All we could do is hope and pray that when you are going there, that they don't have any, hurricanes in that area, because that's going to, you basically have to cancel that trip, because they're going to evacuate people. Right. Yes. Or because what happens sometimes when hurricanes are coming, they try to evacuate as many people as possible, like up to, I think, 24 hours before the hurricane actually gets there. So that way they can, have the people gone and not have to worry about taking care of them and all of that. So you definitely want to make sure that you're checking on those things. And that's why I always say, whenever you're booking your flights, you want to make sure, or anything for that matter, right? You want to make sure that you get the cancellation insurance. Yes, I fully understand, because I had that mindset initially, when I used to travel, in America to different places. You figure, it's going to be extra money. You don't want to necessarily spend the extra money. But then the thing is that if you suddenly have to cancel because something came up, and, things happen in life, you have emergencies, like we said, you have weather situations and all of that. And if you didn't have the cancellation insurance and you have to cancel, then there goes your money. So I think that it's a good idea to get the cancellation insurance for everything. Yeah. So if you're renting a car, if you are, it's your air tickets, if it's your hotel stays, all of them, I would highly recommend that you go ahead and get the cancellation insurance. And again, these are not things that we're saying that you have to do. We're just suggesting things based on, our experience, things that we've seen either we have gone through or we have seen like other people go through that kind of a situation. So definitely something to bear in mind there. So the next thing is, what kind of a getaway is it that you're having? Is it kind of like a getaway for two, just like a romantic getaway, right?
Or with kids.
Right. Is it going to be that you're traveling with kids? Are they older kids? Are they younger kids? How are you going to accommodate for them to make sure that they actually have a good stay as well? Because, as parents, when you're traveling with your kids, especially if you're younger, you want to have a good time, but you also want to make sure that your kids have a good time as well. So it's a good idea to check out certain types of facilities, because like there are certain hotels that they cater specifically for people with kids as well. So that way, people who don't have kids don't get frustrated by kids behaving certain kinds of ways. Because when you're a parent, you're very forgiving in terms of, kids acting up sometimes. But if your child is fully grown and you've forgotten all of that, or it's a case where you never had any children or whatever, then it can be sometimes hard for you to deal with, like different things that happen with children, especially when they're like in the terrible twos and the threes and whatever. So definitely things to bear in mind there as well. So you want to be sure that you look at the type. So it could be, like I said, it could be like a getaway for two. It could be a girls trip, like you and your sister, like me here, or it could be a case where it's you and like other ladies that you wanted to have. It's a group of you. It could be from any group that you belong to. It could be a church group. Whatever the case is, you want to make sure that you know what it is, what the trip is about, and you choose your location accordingly. Is it something that you just want to relax? Because some people just want to, just like, I just want to get away right now. And it's kind of like at that time of year, and people started to think, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? What, kind of vacation I want. So if it's just to relax, you want something that's, like nice and peaceful and tranquil, like we have behind here, no worries. I love like all-inclusive hotels. And Lauren, I know you're from Jamaica. You can tell me if you prefer like all-inclusive hotels, or if you prefer to just go to a hotel that you pay basically a la carte for everything. I think those work out more expensive. That's my opinion. By the time, it sounds, inexpensive when you're starting out, but by the time you get to a certain point, you realize that, when you're adding everything together, just like, oh boy, this really doesn't make too much sense in terms of the price. So for me personally, I like to, have all-inclusive where it covers everything, so I don't have to worry about anything. And by the way, guys, if you're on here, you can please feel free to share this video out, because we're just coming on with anyone that you think may want to have, some information as far as, their travel, setting it up, and all the different things to look for. So if it's going to be relaxation, sometimes it could be just an educational trip. You may want to go somewhere to learn about the culture. Some people could even be like a project for school or something. And so you just want to make sure that you are, knowing what it is and where you're going. Because, some places they're very historic. You may want to go there to learn about, different things, maybe like in Rome, because Rome is they say it's one of the romantic cities in the world, but you also have like, different historical things that you can learn about the country, different architecture. Some people like that kind of a thing. They like, to go and look at, what they call it now. What is it the Sistine Chapel that they have there?
The Sistine, yes.
Yeah, where they have all the paintings from Michelangelo on top and everything. Some people, they like that kind of a thing. So they'll go for that reason, and they, that's their thing. So is it going to be educational? Is it going to be, some people, they just want to go and party, right? Kind of like,
I have been on so many educational trips as far as Tokyo. And the first, when I went to Tokyo that time, it was the bullet train had just come out.
Oh,
and
boy.
It was so nice to be on that train.
Bullet train, yeah.
It was so nice, very fast, but also very, accommodating, because you had your private table, the chairs were spacious, and you were just hanging out.
Yes,
and before you knew it, you were there.
Yeah. So, so it's different experiences all over the world, these things that we look for. And I was going to show you this because we're going to talk about souvenirs too, to get souvenirs. But like this is a nice one here. I'm sure you can tell but you probably can tell where this one is from. This one is actually from Japan. Very nice. It's a fan. See the back of it right there. The circular one. You can see that it's very natural. And this is actually an exchange student that we had with us. He spent a couple of days, and he brought some really nice ones. So we'll look at souvenirs further down in the video. Let me take a look at the comments here. So Brucey says, so you have to travel. You have to have travel insurance. Yes, absolutely. In case you have to make changes and dates and so on. Yes. And then, because even like to change your flight date, it can be so just to maybe add a day on if something happens or something, even that they charge you so much for things like that. So he said research activities, including additional features, and you have the packages. Yes. And that's what we were saying, adding to the basic package as you go along. Yes. So definitely, guys, you want to, take a look at all of those things. So we said, is it going to be fun? Some of them can be like a family reunion. Is it a family reunion that you're planning? Everybody gets together, they pull together. And when we talk about these things on this video, by the way, guys, we're not just saying that you have to be traveling to another country. It could be right where you are. It's just in another state or even another city that's further away from you are, but you still have to plan it out. And talking about planning, the next thing is your money. You want to make sure that as far as the money part goes, that you actually have, your money set aside for that. So you want to be, it's good to even be planning it from the year before, like putting because some people, they have like a little money jar and it may not necessarily be for the trip itself, like to pay for major expenses, but just maybe like, say if you're going on a cruise, like for your shore excursions. So you have a little money jar, you put that aside and you put your money in there and you don't even feel it because, you keep adding in money. And then, when you do that, it's kind of like, over time you realize, look how much I have, and you didn't even feel a thing. So definitely, yes, I would say you want to make sure that you're watching the money and getting all of those things booked out so you're as comfortable as you can. So Newton says, yes, save and plan ahead. Absolutely. The further out you can plan it, even the better. And of course, we did touch on those, but the other one is also, it could be like a wedding that you're having. It could be a wedding for you. It could be a wedding for a friend of yours. Maybe you're in the wedding party or something like that. So that will be basically your vacation, right? Separate from whatever else you may want to be doing for yourself. So you want to get all the information as much as you can to get all of those things planned out. So like, that's what we said. We were, making sure that we have the type and what we're going to be doing there, checking your PTO, paid time off, that is, for those who are not familiar with PTO, to make sure that that time is secure and that you're able to go on that trip. And the next thing we said, that your passports, make sure that your passport is up to date. If the country needs vaccines where you're going, because some people, they don't want to take vaccines for their own purposes, but some of them, you actually have to take the vaccine to go. And they say it's really for your benefit because of different things you can catch over there. Some of them, it's not mandatory. They just say it's a very good idea to do it, for your own safety. The next thing, again, is to check on travel advisories because, we're going to different places and, the world is changing. A lot of things are happening, especially now. So it's very important. So get your phone. I would say get your phone and try to check on the travel advisories to see. They'll tell you kind of like, because if there are travel advisories that are warning you, because they have like different levels of travels. Yes. Some of them, it may be very high risk at that point. They're saying, you know what, it's probably not a good, because they'll never tell you not to go unless, like it's outright war, or, like a really bad disaster. It's kind of like, it's a very good idea for you to stay away. But in most situations, it's going to be just, recommendation based on what they're seeing, that, there could be some things happening that you don't want to be a part of. For some of them, it's like a new situation. And for some of them, it's something that developed recently. So that way you want to make sure that you are following up on those things. Some of them is moderate level. They'll tell you like, you just be careful where you go. Because sometimes they'll say it's okay for you to go, but you have to know where you're going, what's going to be happening there in that specific area, and that kind of a thing. Because we're from Jamaica too. Jamaica is a beautiful place, but there are some places that, you would not want to go unaccompanied. You want to make sure that you have people there with you that can actually help you, in terms of where you are going to be staying. And we talked about booking your flight, check on those as much as possible. They have some good deals sometimes. So it's always good to check ahead to see, what's going on in terms of what kind of packages. Because some of the airlines, sometimes I say to myself, how in the world can a ticket be that low? They're like, oh, I booked on so-and-so. And the ticket was for like, but they say like $49.99. I was like, $49.99. You're going like, maybe like 500 miles. How is it possible for them to charge such a low cost for the flight? But, it does happen from time to time. And again, guys, we're just getting on here. So please feel free to share this live out with, people that you think may be considering traveling right now. And, so that they'll come in and, be a part of this conversation. Because, again, it's always about sharing and kind of like, helping each other out. So cruises, that is the next thing. Again, I have never been on a cruise before. And I actually worked at a cruise line, but this was like over 20 years ago. And my fam trip, they call it a fam trip back at that time, where basically you're working for the company and they're going to allow you to, compliments of the company. Everything would have been covered. It was an excellent cruise line. I will not say what it was about because it was a very tough time for our country. But we had a major catastrophe in this country. And so basically people stopped booking. They didn't want to travel anymore. And because they didn't want to travel anymore, the cruise line, we were looking to get some funds pumped into the cruise line. And so for that reason, they just didn't want to book anymore. And so it got closed down. So we never got our fam trip. So that was as close as I got. That's as close as I got to going on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise, but, I'm thinking that,
It scares
It's
me.
coming up to that time. How do you feel about cruises?
Oh,
Tell us.
I don't know. I honestly don't know because it's like you're on the boat, it's night, there's no land in sight. That would make me a little nervous. But we do have Paul, our brother, went on the cruise a couple of years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I was so happy for him because it's like, that's not something I could
Yeah,
ever
that's probably
do.
the first time one of our, one of us in our immediate family actually did something like that. But but eventually I guess I'll get to it. But some people that have with motion sickness, because I do, but they have meds for that too, which we'll touch on as well. Let me just put a note so I don't forget on here about that part. Because for some people that's a big issue. Motion sickness is an issue. And so they have things. Is it? I think it's called Dramamine that they use. If I'm getting it wrong, guys, you can put it in the comments.
No,
there.
It is Dramamine.
It is Dramamine.
Yes,
okay.
I've had to take it.
Yeah,
driving as a passenger because.
Oh, Mike, welcome. Mike says 1010 stream. Okay, all right, welcome, Mike. Got a pretty logo there, whatever that is. I just see a nice green and shades of green there and pink. It's very beautiful. Whatever you chose to put on there. But yes, so you want to make sure that you get your necessary medication for motion sickness. Some people, they put like a patch behind their ear, and so that actually helps them on the trip. So of course, and they say you always want to take that before you actually go on it, or even if you're on there, you're not feeling sick yet, take it before you start feeling sick, because they say if you take it after you start getting that motion sickness, it's not going to help you. You're kind of stuck with it until. And for people who have had it, they say it's very, very bad. Like you think you're probably going to die based on how horrible you feel.
Remember when we used to travel as kids?
Yeah, that was different. That was our car rides because basically, you're going, we had some country roads. Excuse me, you had some country roads back in Jamaica. When you're going on those, sometimes they can be very winding. And if you're sitting like to the side of the car and you're looking at stuff just going by like that, then what happens sometimes is, you're going to get motion sickness. And, for that reason, it's kind of like, it really messes up your trip. So that's something you want to bear in mind if you travel with motion sickness, you're going on a cruise, or sometimes maybe you didn't know that you had that condition, so you want to make sure that you get that, so that way you have it and you're already prepared in case, you figure, what, let me just put this on just in case. So yes, definitely you want to make sure that you get that in place. And we talk about the cancellation fees and all of that. For some flights too, depending on where you're going and the airline, the weight allowances might be different, because for some of them, they'll say maybe you can carry like 55 pounds. And, for your checked luggage, one that you're checking in with them. And some of them, they'll tell you that, it kind of has to be a little bit less or something like that. So depending on what it is, you have to know ahead of time, because sometimes you have to just go shopping, for luggage, because you may have one that's larger. Because I remember in the earlier days when we used to travel a lot, you were on our airline, Air Jamaica, back in those days, you were able to carry 70 pounds, in your luggage, in each piece. And you were allowed 2 pieces of checked luggage, and you didn't have to pay anything additional for that. So we had the really large suitcases. But as time went by and things changed, they said, well, it's like 55 pounds that you're allowed. So of course we had to scale that. And in some places it may even be less than that. For some of them, it may be that you only have 1 check piece that's free, and then you have to pay for additional pieces. And whatever you do, guys, please do not, be overloaded in your travel. You don't want to go on and have overweight, because if you're overweight, it costs you so much. It usually is better, that we have found in the past, that it's better for you to have an additional piece and pay for an additional checked piece of luggage than for you to pay overweight on the luggage that you actually have.
Charges more.
Right. The charge is more for overload. And I guess it's because of handling, because their staff have to lift the things that are heavier. They have to be concerned about their backs and things like that, and just how it's packaged and handled, separately inside there. So they typically want to make sure that, you pay extra. And I think it's really just to discourage you from, packing too many things in one thing. And so that way, they put it that way, so you'll get that taken care of. All right. So that's as far as your luggage goes. Make sure you have proper luggage, and you're going to have that taken care of, the proper size, and just be sure you have enough so you get those things in place.
Yes.
And then it comes to start packing and shopping. Of course, it's always good to get, like additional things that you will need, because sometimes you figure, oh, I have this and I have that. But when you go and you check them out, then you come to realize that, you know what, there's some things that I really need. You think, oh, this is in good shape. And you go and you check it and you find out like it's not. Because if you're going somewhere that's tropical, or even somewhere that has a hotel with a pool or something, you may say, "Oh, I'm not gonna go in the water. I'm not gonna go in there." But when you get there, just like, "Oh my goodness, it is so."
Gotta
Because
go.
that has happened to me before. I've been on a trip or two, and I said, I'm not gonna go in the water for different reasons. And then when I get, and it looks so beautiful. Look at it behind us, guys. Isn't that gorgeous? And you get there, you're just like, this water is so clean, it's so clear, it's so beautiful, it's so peaceful. You're just like, you know what? I definitely do want to go and be a part of this. And so you just want to make sure you get your swimwear in there. I'd say like at least two of them, and make sure that if you have one that's in good shape or a couple that are in good shape, you want to try them on. You could have lost weight or you could have gained weight and it doesn't fit you the way you want. So you want to make sure that you check it to make sure it fits you appropriately, it looks good, and so you feel comfortable in what you're carrying. And if you didn't, if you need to change them, just get some new ones and get it going. I think we are kind of like past the phase of two-piece swimwear. So right now it's one, they call it the mom bod, right? The mommy body, right? So once you get to that point, you want to make sure that you check all of those things, see what works for you, what doesn't work. Some people it's like, whatever, I'll wear it anyway. But each to his own, you choose what works best for you. So let me take a look at the comments here. I don't want to leave anybody out. So we have Newton, he says yes, and do pre-checking where possible for airline to save check-in time at the airport. Yes, that's a new thing that they have. They want to make sure that you do have the option where you can actually check in ahead of time. So that way they know exactly who you are. You have been cleared. So when you go to check in, it's a lot easier for you to get in. You don't have to go through all the different lines and the different things. It kind of like, it just makes it go easier for you and you're good to go. So I absolutely love that. Some people figure it's kind of like a little invasion of their privacy, but nonetheless, it's kind of like, just go ahead and do it. Again, we're just recommending stuff. You don't have to do them. You decide what works best for you. And so we want to take a look at our clothing, like special things. Of course, I have these right here, of course. And that would be my sunglasses. You always want to make sure that you have that with you. You pack your sunglasses, different sizes, different shapes. Some of the, the different, the trends are changing. This is one I like here. They have some of them with, really large glasses. You have different
Jackie.
Right. But taking it back, we're showing our age right now, right? We're not even that old. We just used to see a lot about her when we were growing up. My mom talked about her, like all the time when we were growing up. But yes, those are there as well too. Of course, because some places you may be going there, you may be on a cruise, for example, and it may be summertime, so you figure, it's warm and everything. But sometimes the evening temperature where you are, it may be that it gets a little cool, even though it's warm in the daytime. So a shawl, I highly recommend shawls, and I try to have different types. And they're very, they're lightweight, they're small. You can just roll them up and just tuck them in a little corner of your suitcase. It doesn't take up a lot of space. I even recommend carrying one with you on the flight, just in case, when you're because when you're in the plane itself, if you're flying, by the way, that is, they have blankets on there that you can use. You can ask for one. But what if you're in the airport and it suddenly starts to get cold and then, your thing is checked in already, you didn't have one in your carry-on with you. So I highly recommend, carrying one in your carry-on, and you can just put it over you if you get a little cold. And then the next thing, again, too, we talked about cancellation before, is that for some reason, especially when you're traveling in the summertime, or even like maybe like early fall, late spring, that kind of time, like in the middle part of the year there, what can happen quite often is that your flight can get delayed or sometimes even canceled for different reasons. And then you're stuck at the airport. So you don't want to make your check luggage too much. I mean, your carry-on, too much. But still, there are some basic things that you want to have, because if you're stuck in the airport, some people have to sleep same place where they are. We see it happen time and time again. It's good to have a shawl with you, so that way you can wrap it around you. Some people just want to cover their head with it. They don't want anybody to see their face while they're sleeping. So, you want to make sure that you kind of have that in place. So that way it's just something that you can, lean on, and it helps you out a lot. So I definitely recommend shawls, at least one in your carry-on, and another one. They have different styles. I have a black one which is so universal that basically goes with anything. Anything I have that will go with it. But sometimes you want to have something that's a little more, spice it up a little bit, more colorful flowers, different patterns.
Yeah.
Oh, at home with Lisa. Lisa, welcome, welcome, my dear. So glad to have you. And this is my sister, for those that's coming on in the chat afterwards. This is my sister, Andrea.
Hi.
Her channel is Andrea's Kidney Transplant Life. It's a brand new channel for her. And, she has a couple of videos out. So she's my co-host again. We like to have a little fun together, on our lives from time to time. And I thought it would be a good idea to invite her on it. The next thing again too is that she recently put out her video yesterday where she talked about travel specifically for patients, because she had a kidney transplant, but she knows the whole for 5 years being on dialysis and having to travel. Because if you can travel, if you get the clearance to travel, of course you want to travel like anybody else too. But there are things you have to put in place that are very important for you. So she definitely and let me just type her channel name in there. I did put it in my channel link before, but I'm not sure if you will get a chance to go back and check. So I'll just put it in here if you don't mind. So it's Andrea's. I gotta push that promotion a little bit. Andrea's Kidney.
Thank you.
Kidney transplant life. I'll make sure I hit enter this time. So that's the name of her channel right there. So if you ever wanted to, you can always go in and check her out to see how how she's doing there. So anyway, so we're talking about the different little things that you want to make sure you have for clothing and all of that. So we talked about, like, of course, your sunglasses. That's definitely something that you have to have for sure. And that a shawl is a good idea to have, because you never know, it might be a little cool if you're on a cruise or you're in a hotel that's colder and they're eating or a nice little restaurant or something. It's very convenient. It's very easy. You can even just slip it in your little purse when you're going. No one has to know. Just put it, like, hang it over it a little bit. And it is so convenient. And I love shawls that way, Sometimes you can even make it into a scarf around your neck.
Yeah.
Just drape it like that, and it kind of dresses your outfit up or down depending on what you're trying to do there. The next one again is cover ups. You're going at the pool, especially as you get older, when you're kind of like in your 16, 17, 18, in your early 20s and so on. It's kind of like two-piece, everything is kind of like hourglass and everything. As you get a little older, and everybody has their own feeling about it, right? But you may want to have a little cover up if you're wearing a two-piece for the bottom half of your body. And they have some really nice ones. And it's always good to just buy them ahead of time and carry them, because when you go there, whether it's on a cruise or if it's, at a hotel stay or whatever, they cost so much more when you buy them at the those stores that they have there. So if you have your own already, you can save that money and spend it on something else, while you're there. So definitely cover ups are good. Kimonos. That's something I need to get one. Some of them are just absolutely gorgeous. And you're walking and some of them are long and just flowing right behind you, just like, ooh. But they say, Calgon, take me away is the phrase that they say, right? So definitely, yes, kimonos are good. I like them. I need to get one. Some of them are long, like I said, some of them are shorter. And you guys, you can let me know in the chat if you have a kimono or if you plan to get one, or if you normally use like cover ups for your outfit when you're going out there. Let me take a look here. Oh, so let me see. Tudor Beachy says, hi, Lisa, and she says hello back to her. And Neil Chin says, you had to keep off excess sun. Well, you already know me, guys. If you watch my gardening, my tea party video, you know that I have a nice broad hat. I have a couple of hats, actually. Not a bad idea, but most times you have to carry them in your hand when you're going, through the airport. Or some people, they may roll it, they'll roll it. And when they roll it, they can stick it in their carry-on. And it's okay, it doesn't get damaged. Of course, it can be something like made of straw or something kind of like that. So it can be bent easily. And then that way you just roll it and you can pack it in there. But otherwise, most people I see them have it, they put it on their head. They're like, listen, I'm in the mood, I'm ready to go. So it's already on their head and they are going with that. Or you can just, like I said, hold it in your hand and carry. But hats, and it just does something. I don't know, when you have on a nice wide rim hat and you have on your sunglasses, I didn't bring my hat down, you have on your sunglasses and your nice wide rim hat. It just puts you in that mood already. Like you feel like you're already there, and I'm telling you, the way things are going these days, guys, I keep saying it every time I have a live, or almost every time. Enjoy every day that God has blessed you with, because I'm telling you, you don't know what tomorrow is going to be. You don't want to be having regrets. I should have done this. I was waiting for this. I was waiting for that. And you never did it. So, I would say just go ahead. And if you can do it, it doesn't. And like I said, because we're talking here about traveling, like, to different places. It doesn't have to be that you're going to Jamaica or to France or to Japan or whatever. You just want to make sure that you do something. You can maybe go to, never been to New York before. You never been to Atlanta before. You never been to Los Angeles before, you've never been to Toronto before, just different things. I'm gonna get hot here. My husband went ahead and brought me down my hat. I'm not gonna keep it on this time though, I don't think, but let's see.
Marlene, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
As my son got older, during COVID, right after COVID, we couldn't go, like, we couldn't travel on planes, right?
Yeah, I'm
So
hearing
we
you.
would go to like 2 cities over in Ohio and just stay at a hotel for a few days, like a weekend.
Yeah.
And that would just, you're away, but not really away. And it's just nice to just hang out.
Some people call them staycations.
Staycations.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that, because the fact of the matter is that you didn't stay at home. It's just like, it means that you're not traveling too far away.
Right.
But nevertheless, you are, you're away from home. You're at a hotel. Everything is being taken care of for you. Bringing your breakfast, or just go down and eat or whatever, and you're being taken care of, right? Well, let me see. So I know Lisa, she says the glasses are definitely a must-have. I 100% agree. Some people don't like hats, some do, but whatever works for you. Some people use a visor, it just depends. But yes, definitely you want to get into that mood already before you get going. And I'm telling you guys, if you like retail therapy like I do, because I love shopping, I keep it controlled, but that retail therapy, man, when you go on your vacation, you even like shopping from like 3 months before for your clothes you're gonna wear, and your hat and your sunglasses and everything you're gonna be using, man. It already puts you there. Whatever you're going through, it's like, you know what, this too shall pass, because I have a goal that I'm going towards. And it really puts you in that frame of mind to get all of those things together. So yes, your cover up, your kimono. I find that in recent times, like, pajamas have become quite popular. A lot of people are more into pajamas. Women are more into pajamas now than before. And I think they're just so convenient. Of course, if it's kind of like a romantic getaway, then maybe pajamas may not be the first option. But they have some cute ones as well, too, that you can wear, But, pajamas, very convenient for you, very comfortable and all of that. And it's just about relaxing and having things taken care of by someone else. Neil said, Neil Chin says, or cap. Yes, so some people like a baseball hat. Sometimes, that works as well too, for what you're having there. The next thing again is to make sure that you have your medications, because some people, they have like, medical conditions, and they want to make sure that they have that with them. And I would say carry extra as well too, because again, things can happen. I would even pack them in 2 separate places, because what if your luggage is late? Have it in your carry-on bag, but have some in your checked luggage as well. So if something happens to the one, then the other one, you still have, because medication, if you have certain conditions like, kidney transplant for her, people who have diabetes, people who have hypertension, just different types of illnesses that they need medications for. It is, definitely something that you will want to make sure that you are securing it in 2 different places. I would say so would be that. And then some of the other things you want to pack, right on cue. My husband is right on cue. We're going to talk about these things as well next. There are things that are good for you to have. So, and sometimes it may seem like an oversimplification, but honestly, a lot of times too, it really isn't, because sometimes you're busy packing and you forget. And it's good too to have a checklist. I'm a person that likes to have checklists.
Oh, yes.
So I would say, well, we know you do from your video for sure. She loves to journal, and that's a good habit to have. Whether you're going to do it in hard copy or you want to do it in your phone somewhere, but it's good to have a checklist and you put things down. And when you're packing, you make sure you check them off, because these things are not going to spoil very quickly. There is nothing wrong with putting certain things in your bag way ahead of time, so that you have that there. But some things, because of course, so this is your sunscreen, you want to have them. And some people think because you're of a darker skin color, like we are, that you're not at a risk for skin cancers and stuff like that. You definitely are. You still are at a risk for it, because people of color also get that. And the next again too is your head. We have gentlemen on the chat as well too. So if you're wearing a bald-headed hairstyle, you want to put sunscreen on top of your head too, because that's a part of your skin that's exposed, and it can happen there. So you don't just want to put it on the most obvious parts, your hands and your feet and everything. You want to put it on your head, like over the tip of your ears, your face, especially like here and here, the parts that come out a little bit more off of your face. You want to make sure that you're protecting yourself that way. And there are different brands. It just happens to be the one that I have right now. So the sunscreen is, I would say, is definitely something that you want to have. And the more, I think, but SPF factor, the higher it is, the better for you. And some of them you can spray them on. People have different opinions about it. I've heard some people say it washes off very quickly. They have to keep reapplying. And that's something to remember too. Just because you put your sunscreen on or your sunblock on doesn't mean it's going to stay there for the whole day. You go in the water and it's going to come off. Most of it, you have to put it back on again. Especially people with red hair. If you are, like a redhead is what they say, you're more prone to, like skin cancers and stuff. But of course, it can happen to anyone. You want to make sure that you're reapplying, your sunscreen and your sunblock to protect yourself from that. So, definitely highly recommended that you put that on your checklist and just pack it away already. The next one again is this little one right here. Your insect repellent.
In Jamaica. Oh my God.
Depends on where you go though, because some hotels, it's completely under control, but sometimes you may be visiting some rural areas or even in the city sometimes. It just depends on where you're going. And where you are staying, it's not, fully under control. So you have a lot of mosquitoes that are there. So this is your protection right here. You always want to make sure you have this. And the last time we were traveling back to Jamaica, and even the Bahamas too, we made sure that they have some of them so that you can actually wear on your hand right now. They fit on your wrist and it keeps them off. And it was kind of effective, I'd say maybe for about 2 days or so. And then you could see the effectiveness started to kind of wear off a little bit. And so you always want to have, even though you have the ones that for your wrist, I would say still carry this one just in case. And you just, you spray it, just stand up and spray it all over and just kind of like walk into it and make sure it covers you everywhere. But sometimes you just spray the front. If your hair is up or you're a man with a lower haircut, then what happens is that they can sometimes attack your neck, the back of your neck, the back of your arms and stuff like that. So you want to spray here and spray the back of you and everything. And again, same thing with the sun, with this too. Some people, they cover the area that they can, but sometimes you may need to get help from someone that you trust, you feel comfortable with. They could put some on areas that you cannot reach at the back to make sure that you have full coverage on that. So another thing again here too would be like some aloe vera gel. These ones right here, they're good for moisturizing. I think this one here is a moisturizer one. But they have some of them that are very effective for burns. I think it was my older son that actually figured this out, because for some reason we would put other things for burns, but he found out that you have the ones. Let me see what Lorna is saying. She's talking about the previous thought, which is that she says you can also use peppermint oil too. Yes. Peppermint oil is another good one. So there are different things. And some people, they want to be more organic in what they use. So peppermint oil is an excellent choice. If it doesn't work for you, carry a backup just in case, but that is definitely another option as well too. But like I was saying, my older son is the one who basically made us aware, because he likes to research stuff, which I love that about him. He discovered that, like when you have burns, like, if you're cooking in the kitchen, sometimes you may have an oil splatter on your arm or something like that, that aloe vera gel. Not this one though, because this one here is just a moisturizer. It kind of calms your skin and stuff. But the ones that say for burn relief specifically, it is an excellent idea to pack one of those with you. I don't think I don't know what they allow and that's the next thing again too, when we're talking about preparing, check with the airline to see what they allow for carry-on and what they don't. Because for some of them, it's kind of like, something like this, you can't carry this and carry on, it's too big. Even like water, you want to carry some water that's like, that's that you can't carry even like your shampoos sometimes, shampoos, conditioner. I think this size right here, I'm almost certain it is, but don't quote me on that. But I think like this size right here is okay for you to carry on with your carry-on luggage, but always check rules, because you don't want to, need something and then you get there and it's kind of like, oh my goodness, it doesn't work for you. But like I was saying before, so you want to make sure that you are getting an aloe vera gel that helps to protect you from sunburns. As soon as it happens, you put some on. And that soothing relief is there. It really, really works. It works very well, as a matter of fact. So, I just thought I'd give you that. And when you're packing too, need I say more? We know the story, right? You have this one right here, which is your regular charger, because if your phone dies on you, then, how are you going to communicate? That's a problem right there, And I don't know how it is right now, but when I worked at the cruise line all those years ago, they had calls that they called ship to shore. And let me tell you something. The rates on those were not a joke. This was like over 20 years ago. And I think it was like $20 for, what was it like? $20, whatever the rate, like $20 for 3 minutes or something crazy like that. So it's kind of like just, hi, I'm okay. I'll see you at so-and-so. pick me up at the airport or whatever, and that's it, and you're off. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, make sure that you have your charger for your phone, because your phone is good. It's good to have your phone, but if the phone don't have any charge, it's not going to work. And check with your carrier as well too, because some places they have like high roaming charges. So check with them, because sometimes you can get a plan just for the time of your trip, and you can get that at a lower rate, so that way you're free to call and all of that, so you're good to go. And it's a communication age now. Right now people expect to hear from you. Growing up in the past, okay, I'm gone. When you reach your call and say I've got here from a phone or whatever, and then that's going to be it until you're ready to leave again. But now people want you to basically check in almost every day with them. And of course there's social media as well, like Facebook, Instagram, I have my opinions about that. I think if you're leaving and there's no one at your home, it might not be the best time to put that out on social media. But that's just my personal feeling, if you don't have a home sitter or something like that. But anyway, so back to the charger. So make sure that you have your charger. So this is the one that you plug in. And of course you have the portable ones as well, that you can just, hook it up, when you're traveling that way. And so, your phone will always be having a charge. So you don't have to worry if you need to contact someone if there's an emergency or something like that. So then the next part is preparing like a few days before, and that's the self-care part of it. You want to make sure that you're getting in shape, because sometimes you may want to change your hairstyle. Maybe you may normally have like a relaxed, or a hot press in your hair, but maybe because you're on vacation, you may want to wear like braids instead. Doesn't she look cute in her braids and a little flower in her hair, right? But you may want to change your hairstyle. I can't do braids like that, just let's say it's just one of the things that doesn't work for me. In 2 days I'm going to pull them out, and that's just me, unfortunately. But I find it's a good option for people who are able to wear braids. It's easy to care for, because like me, of course, I'm going to have to get mine washed again, get it curled again or whatever. So it takes that excess work to have to worry about that. So braids are a good idea. And if you guys can think of anything else, or maybe even wigs too, if your wig is, able to secure it in place, because, when you're on those vacations, a lot of wind, you're on a boat or whatever, a lot of things going through, and it's kind of like, oh my goodness, it's just kind of like, this here, is it going to stay in place? So just depending on how you wear your hair, you may want to think of something that's going to be convenient. But let me catch up with the chat here, because I see some other things coming in here. So we have Neil Chinny says, yes, use direct charger cord, as there is a safety issue with USB cords to prevent USB cords being hacked, because they had an advisory very recently, and you even mentioned it to me the other evening, that sometimes when you are plugging in, like that, you may plug in your USB port into the ear port. Sometimes it can allow you to get hacked. It allows someone to come in and hack your phone. And once they come in, there are different things that they can do. So guys, the portable chargers, these things are everywhere right now. So you want to try to get one so you can charge your phone if you need to, if you're in the airport, because again, sometimes the flight may get canceled, or the flight may be delayed, and then you didn't charge your phone, you forgot to do it, and you're like, okay, what do I do now? Because you have to let people know, where you are and what's going on. So let's see now. So Farmer V, hello, my friend. Welcome. She says, hello, ladies, and the YouTube family. Everybody, welcome Farmer V. Welcome. She is one of my mutual subscribers. She does gardening, and I just love, to see what she does there. Very, very beautiful. And sometimes she'll go and shopping for plants and stuff. I do on my channel sometimes too. So of course, that definitely appeals to me, but that's her channel right there. And also to shout out right now, since I did shout out your channel, Andrea's Kidney Transplant Live. So we have Farmer V. Check her out, guys. If you love flowers and gardening, that would be her, just like my channel. We have Lorna. She does very beautiful decor. We have At Home with Lisa, and as her name says, At Home. So she does a lot of decor. She had one today. It's I don't want to mess it up. I think Be Friendly or something like that. But I think the theme was around bee decor, like for, bees, honey, hives, and all of that. You can go to, there's so many things you can do with that. So she did one of those earlier today. So even more so, I appreciate her coming on here, because I know that she had her collab going on there. So we have now RCB Maverick Hunter Polarity says, when using a phone charger, I always say to look at the amp amount, so you can get multiple full charges in a bind. Yes. So you always want to check on stuff like that. That's a little bit techie language for me, I must admit. So RCB, Mr. Maverick, if you could break that down just a little bit for us so everybody understands what you're saying, I would so appreciate that. Just, in layman's terms, talk to us like you're talking to us like we are in the third grade or something, like exactly what that means. But whatever backups that you can have, it's good to have those. So Farmer V says, good info. And can you just read what Bruce Lee said? Let me just take a quick look over here. I think I have something going on here. So just take a look and see what Bruce Lee said. Just go over that comment for me, please.
Also, check out foods to ensure what is available you do not have issues with.
Absolutely. Because, for example, when we talk about medications, if you are on blood pressure meds, you cannot have pomegranate juice.
Oh boy.
Or I think cranberry juice might be on the iffy side as well with certain meds. So you just want to be careful with things like those.
Okay, yeah. So definitely check the foods that's available because like for us, we don't do a lot of shellfish. So if I were to go to like a place like Louisiana, New Orleans, they do a lot of like shellfish in their food and pork as well, which we don't have that either. So you kind of like figure out ahead of, because there's so much available to us now to do more research before we travel. So it's good to take a look and see what are the options there. What can you do to find your ways to navigate so you can enjoy your trip. You don't want to go there and be sick and all of that. You want to go there to relax and have a good time. So, just definitely check ahead to see all of those different things that might be there. So we talked about like the hairstyle, but you may want to get something that's, easier to manage. Me, I'm so used to mine, just, wash, curl, go again. So I just do it and it works for me. But, if that's going to take away from your time, then I say, go ahead and put some braids in and just go for it. Right. Very nice. I didn't have my flower in the ear today, but I like hers. It's really cute. So, in the vacay mode, put one in, put your hat on, put your sunglasses on, enjoy yourself, enjoy life. That's a part of it. We want to do all of that. And the next thing again is your waxes. Ouch. You want to get those waxes going because sometimes, you overlook certain areas. If you're not somebody who goes to the pool or to the beach often, you may not even think about it. But like bikini waxes, highly recommended, because you have those on, your swimmer on, and then it starts to show. So you kind of like, want to take care of that ahead of time. If you're not someone who likes to do like waxing, they have the creams that you can put on. You put them on, leave it on for a while, you wipe it off and everything goes away. Of course, like your pits and everything, tip-top shape, make sure you take care of that. If you're going to wax maybe like a few days before or maybe the night before, if you're going to like do it yourself and, like use those creams. Some people still shave those areas. It just depends on what works for you. But personally, if you are going to shave, I usually always recommend using like a little rubbing alcohol in the area to make sure you don't get like any razor bumps or anything that can come from off of that. Or sometimes, and try not to reuse your razors. Some people do. If you are going to reuse them, you definitely want to make sure that, those are properly cleaned with some rubbing alcohol. So yes, so make sure that you get your wax if you're doing one or shaving or whatever it is that you're doing. Farmer B, she laughing. What is she laughing about? Was it the waxing when I said ouch? I don't know. But yes, but definitely get that in tip-top shape. Mr. Maverick, we're still waiting on you, sir. If you just break it down a little bit for us, I would really love to hear. She said yes, that's why. Yes, but guess what? It's a part that you don't want to forget because you're going to be just like, oh my gosh. But they all like hotels and stuff, they always have like little things that you can get. So if you forgot yours, you can go and buy some. But again, these prices are all, if you have to keep forgetting stuff and keep buying different things, it's going to come into your money and you could use this money to buy some food out there, buy some souvenirs, which we'll touch on those a little bit as well too. So you want to make sure you have as much of your stuff ahead of time, do enough stuff ahead of time so that way you have So Cheryl, Cheryl, welcome. Cheryl is here with us. So good to see you. She said talk to them about unwanted ones. Yes, so we got to get those things under control. And then the next part too would be these, your mani and your pedi. Now, I'm not really a gel nail person, but gel nails have become very popular over the recent years. So if you do gel nails, of course, those last a lot longer. And so if you're doing that, you can maybe do it like a week ahead of time. If you're doing just like the regular nail polish, like what I'm wearing here, maybe like, 2 days before, I would say, they do them and they seal them in really good for you. So they should hold up at least, if you're going for a week, they should hold up for a week. But there is nothing wrong with carrying a little extra bottle of nail polish. I always do that. So in case they don't hold up, then I can go in and just touch them up a little bit and try to get the same color that they got you. Or maybe you did your nails that yourself, because a lot of times I do my nails myself. So if you're doing it yourself, always carry the little bottle with you, your nail polish and the clear coat that you put on top. Keep those with you. So if you need to touch up, because they're minor things, but still it means something to you. And it's gonna be, oh my gosh, look at my nail right now, and it's kind of like it's distracting you from enjoying your time there, And we want to make the full, as full effect of this as we can, because you had to get your paid time off if you're still working, you had to spend the money and book it. So you want to really enjoy the time that you're there within reason, of course, So she says, yes, I try the gel nails and I find it's pretty great. Yes. So she says, yes, you're in the house. Yes, yes. She says she prefers Near, which is a brand right there, which I do use that sometimes myself too. Or like I said, if you shave, make sure you use some rubbing alcohol in the area for your pits, bikini area, whatever. And of course, the eyebrows, since we're talking about waxing and preparing yourself, you want to get the eyebrows done as well. And of course, your pedicure. Even if you don't get your fingers done, get the toes done, unless you're against nail polish, altogether. You want to have like pretty sandal feet. And again, I'm talking as if we're only going to tropical places, but of course you may be going to other places where it may be a colder weather, because some people, they want to go like on an Alaskan cruise and it is cold at that time. So everything's going to be cold. No one's going to see your feet, but still, get them done and look nice. But if you're going to a tropical place and you're going to be wearing lovely sandals, barefooted on the beach, by the pool or whatever, you want to make sure that you get your pedicure done. And sometimes, we're busy these days, especially. And sometimes you figure that you'd remember to do it and you forget. So like I said, a checklist, I'm a checklist person, she's a journaling person, get your checklist together, put your stuff out, and you can even arrange them ahead of time. Like you say, like maybe like 1 month out, what do I need to do? 6 months out, of course, we talked about all those things already. Vaccines if needed, get your passport ready. Make sure it doesn't need to be renewed. If it's almost going to expire like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, I would say go ahead and renew it anyway, just to have that safety, because we're in a time now where anything can happen. So you want to make sure your driver's license, check that too. Because I remember once I didn't even realize that my driver's license was going to expire. And the person said to you, oh, your driver's license is about to expire. I said, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Because it's not something that you think about. And it takes 5 years in America. I'm not remembering in Jamaica how long it takes, but if it takes 5 years in America, for it to expire, so of course you're not thinking about that until, and I think for domestic travel now, we're still able to use our driver's license for travel if it has a black star on it. So you can use those. So either way, just make sure you check those things. So like that 6 months out or more, and your flight, your travel cancellation insurance, your hotel bookings, all of those things, car rental, cruise tickets, everything. Most of them, the further out you are, the better the rates are. If it's a busy time of year where a lot of people are traveling, then Memorial Weekend, Independence in Jamaica, Independence Day over here, Christmas, whatever the case may be, they have a lot of people coming in. The demand gets high closer to the time. So that way you'll find that, the prices are going to go up. So the further out you can go, secure your time for vacation, and, go ahead and book what you're booking there. So, as you get closer in, you want to book different things. So we talked about like your self-care, which is different things. How you're going to wear your hair, your mani, your pedi, if you need to wax, if you need to shave, if you need to use creams or whatever, things for motion sickness. I'll mention that here again, especially if you're going on a cruise, because sometimes you don't even know that you have motion sickness like that. And again, you have to put it on before you go on the cruise, or when you're just starting, before you get sick, because they say if you get sick and you take it, it's not going to help you. And this is one of the most horrible things that can really ruin your vacation. So you want to make sure that, you're taking care of that. Then the next thing is to enjoy the culture. And I just wanted to show you, some of the souvenirs that I've had. I've had so many. You think I'd have more from Jamaica since I am from there, and I've been there a couple of times back to visit. But this was one that someone gave us many years ago. And this is a beautiful place to visit right here. Isn't it gorgeous? And if you can see it really good in there, because sometimes the lighting. This is Dunn's River Falls, guys. If you ever take a cruise that lays over in there, try to visit Dunn's River Falls. It is a wonderful place. It's absolutely beautiful. And this is natural. This is not man-made. This is not where someone went in and carved out those terracings in the hillside or whatever you want to call it. This is how it was. Natural beauty. Of course, over the years they've had to put connections, like ropes and stuff to go up. I don't know if they still do it or not, but they used to have like a chain, like a human chain, and you'd hold hands with the person. Yeah, you don't know them. Guess what? When you're on vacation, but nobody don't care.
Everybody's a friend.
They're a friend. They're in that good mood, right? So you hold hands. They can let me know, Cheryl, you're still there. You're still living there. If you can still hold hands going up, because it can be a little slippery from what I remember. So, they have you hold hands and go. And you can see them doing it right here, I think. They hold hands and they go up. It is such a wonderful experience. So I have this right here. This was a gift when we were migrating to the America and US from Jamaica, and someone from our church, they gave this to us, and it's just wonderful, and I still have it, and I take good care of it. So that was Jamaica, and then like this right here, what she said, Farmer V says, wow, and she says that's a beautiful plate. Thank you so much.
It is.
And Cheryl says, I would do exactly what Andrea has done with the flowers in the hair. Cute, love the look. Yes. And usually, like I said, usually I have mine, but I say, you know what? I'm just going to let her go today. You go ahead, girl. You go. So Cheryl says, Duns River Falls, you need to give you a trip for a promo. Okay. All right. Okay. I'll take that. Yes. So different things like this little pot right here. My son got this for me when he went on one of his trips. This is this one was not like originally from there, but the souvenir stores, how they are already. But this is beautiful, very, very Asian. Absolutely love it. You can make your little tea in there, and it has a little part inside there. You put it in there, you put your tea in, you put your hot water in there, you let it steep, and then you just pour it out. It's very tiny, very cute. The kind of Asian style tea that you do with those. Then we had a young man who stayed with us for a while. He came from Japan, a student, years ago, and he got this for me. Isn't this absolutely gorgeous? And they call it Ryukyu. I'm probably not saying it right. Ryukyu. If anybody knows how to pronounce it, please forgive me. But it's beautiful. It's made from a special glass or type of gemstones that they have over there, or crystals, something like that. And it actually is colored like that. And then they just put it in there and they form them out. Isn't it beautiful, guys? It's kind of like a crackle finish right there. And this is the original stuff. This is not a knockoff. This is the real deal. And it matches my dress. Look at that. I didn't even notice perfectly. That, right? So very pretty. One of my neighbors, and again, like I'm saying, it doesn't have to be like all tropical and stuff like that. You can be going to other places. One of my neighbors, she went to Bethlehem and she got me this. And this is the nativity right here. If you can, let me see if you see it at the back here. Where it says Bethlehem. I think it's inside there, but she got this from Bethlehem when she went to Israel, and then she went to Bethlehem and Jerusalem and all of that, and she got this and she brought it back for us. So this was really nice. Mm-hmm. And it's good to ask like locals, like the areas, to get the real stuff, because sometimes you get like knockoffs, but sometimes some of them, they're really genuine art and crafts that you'll be getting from there. And these fans, I showed this one earlier. This one was from Japan, from the same young man. Very nice fan. I haven't even taken it out yet. That's just to show you. And he gave us another one as well too. I remember I did a video some time ago talking about Chinazri. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but this is another beautiful one. That kind of Asian art. Isn't this gorgeous, guys? Look at that. That's beautiful. Love it. And that's the back of it right there. So these are natural things, natural things that they have made from there. Jamaica, they have, if you go like through, like when you're going to Ocho Rios, if you're on a car excursion and you go through, like it's Fern Gully, right? Yeah. Going through Fern Gully, they have all kinds of wood carvings. They're the most beautiful things that you can see. Absolutely gorgeous. And they have things that they make from like coconut shells that you can use, and just a lot of wonderful things. But, just, check around and see, get, recommendations from the people that are there. So, that this is something that's good and something that you want. Let me see. She says, yes, you still hold hands because it's slippery. Yes, it is slippery at Duns River Falls. So, they have you hold hands for your safety. And you also want to make sure that, you get yourself checked out there, because if you have health conditions and you're going on certain types of vacations, you want to make sure, check with your doctor first, as I say about most things that I talk about. Check with your doctor and make sure that everything is okay health-wise, that you can manage the trip. And again, check the time of year, because sometimes some places it is so hot. Because for me personally, I've had people who visited like Las Vegas or like Phoenix, Arizona, and they said, do not go there in the summertime because it is ridiculously hot. And if you're someone who has health conditions, that can really, like heart conditions, kidney
Nausea. I
transplant,
was nauseous
dialysis.
a lot.
Yes, because you get dehydrated, which is the next thing again. You need to drink a lot. This is non-alcoholic. We're not talking about alcoholic drinks.
Water.
A lot of water, drink a lot of water, juices or whatever. Stay hydrated if the weather is hot, because those things, when you're dehydrated, you sometimes get headaches, you get nausea, and it messes up your trip. So if you can carry some water with you too, get a water bottle, pack that in your luggage so you can carry water with you. So you're not depending on being able to get it when you need it. So that way you're always hydrated, because hydration is a big part of life, guys. Very important for you. So like I said, check on the times too. If it's going to be ridiculously hot and you have medical conditions, or even you're someone who doesn't tolerate heat that well, that might not be the best time for you to go there. Choose a cooler month. So like for me, if I'm going to like Phoenix, if I don't have to like go during that specific time for like work or for church or whatever, some mission or whatever, I'm gonna choose a cooler time. Las Vegas, same thing again. Never been there, but I'd like to go there maybe at some point in the future just to see what it's like. But I would say go there maybe like November, December, January, when it's cooler,
Yes.
so it's more comfortable. Because one of my friends, and she actually came from England, we were co-workers at the time, and she went there and she said it was so hot in Las Vegas that her feet swole. And she didn't have any underlying medical conditions, but her feet swole up. So you have to kind of know what works for you. Again, some places they get very, very cold. So if it's cold that you don't like to handle cold like me, like once it gets below the 40s, I'm like, I'm not so sure. But I can tolerate like 30 and so on, freezing, it's snow, even upper 20s. But like you're talking about like getting in the teens and below, that is just not me at all. If I don't have to be there, I probably won't go at that time. If it's something that I have to do, then I will, definitely do it. So let me see. I'm just trying to keep track of what we're saying here in the comments. And Cheryl says, because she's still in Jamaica, she says they usually provide water socks. And we did carry water shoes. So water shoes are not a bad idea. They provide water socks and you pay for. So remember, though, that, you have to pay for those. So again, you can carry water shoes, which we have those. And you can pick those up at any store, Target, Walmart, all the other places. And especially like when summertime is around the corner, like now you'll start seeing those products. Different shoe stores, they'll have them over there. So you can pack those and carry. And Cheryl again says, a coworker bought me a nice fan from his visit there. Oh, that's wonderful. Yes. And she actually has been to Japan already. She went there for work. So that was awesome. So Rama V, she says Las Vegas is hot and dry. Yes, and that's why I'm saying if you're someone that heat bothers you a lot, I would say try to see if you can go there at a time when it's cooler, so you can enjoy your trip. You don't want to go there and kind of like it just uncomfortable, because if people go back and it's like, oh, it was so horrible because all of these different things, and some of them were avoidable. You just didn't think about it, and then it messes up your whole trip. And that's all you can think about. And for me too, talking about your trip, typically what I do is I try to have a day ahead of the trip and a day after for my vacation. That's why I try to save my time as much as I can, because I want to have ease of getting everything finalized the day before I travel. And then when I come back, let's not talk about that jet lag, especially you being to Japan, me having gone to California a couple of times over there. People, jet lag is very, very real. That can kill you if you're driving. Because I remember, and this is how I knew, and I know somebody who actually, he lived on the same street that we lived at in Jamaica, and he was going to visit his girlfriend who was in New York at the time. And he tried to drive from, he took the flight and then tried to drive from South Florida all the way to New York, and he died on the way. Because sleep is something that suddenly comes on you like that. She comes for her own, she really does. And she will come without warning if you did not get enough sleep. Because when I traveled to California to see her, the flight was delayed, and for some reason I just kept watching, because my husband and I were traveling at the time, and I just kept watching the flight to make sure that we didn't miss it. When they call us, we'd be awake and everything, because I'm just like, how would I know? Are they gonna wake me up? So we kept watching, and it just kept changing. I'm just like, oh my goodness. So for a whole, like, we were awake maybe like for about 18 hours at that point in the journey, maybe 18, 19 hours. And when I was on the plane, I remember sitting down like this, and next thing I remember, I'm waking up. I don't remember feeling sleepy, because normally if I'm falling asleep, I can feel that I'm about to fall asleep. If you're going to fall asleep. It's like I'd be talking to you right now, and then I wake up and I'm awake. It's just like, what? And it happened to me twice on the flight. So I said to myself, imagine if I tried to hold out and I had rented a car and then I had to drive to where I was going. That can be very serious because it comes on you just like that. So if you are in a situation like that, guys, lay over somewhere. It may cost you more money, but I'm telling you, the money that you're paying, it is better for your health to do that layover. Do it. Or if the flight gets delayed a lot and you figure, you know what, I'm so tired, just book a hotel that's close by and stay there. And then you can drive the next day. The place will still be there. I mean, sometimes there are appointments that is unavoidable. That's why I say try to have a little grace. Like, say you're going to like a business meeting or a vacation or whatever, you're meeting people for like a wedding or something. Try to give yourself a little grace, like at least a day before, so that way, if any eventualities take place, that you're still able to attend without any stress. Sometimes your luggage can get left behind. I've had that happen to me before. And that's why, like for your carry-on luggage, you want to make sure you have some essential stuff: underwear, toothbrush, toothpaste, something to fix your hair, your makeup, just the basic makeup that you need, maybe lipstick, foundation, eyeliner, whatever. Like something to sleep in, just something that's easy to sleep in. Maybe like a top. You can maybe keep the same trousers if you're wearing trousers, and just like change your top, so that way at least you have those basic things to carry you if your clothing didn't make it. And if it's an event, like it's a wedding, you may want to put your dress with you if you can roll it or something. I don't know. But these things happen. So I say, if you don't want to do all of that kind of thing, just make sure you allow like some kind of a time in between. Give yourself some grace. So if something happens, then you're able to, fit in easily. So let me see. So Farmer B says, I can't wait to visit Jamaica soon. Yes. Listen, let me tell you, you're going to have
Beautiful.
a blast. It is see behind us right there? It's a beautiful place. You're going to love it. All inclusives, I would recommend highly, because when you do it that way, everything is taken care of. They cover your hotel stay, your food. They come in and they make your bed. Everything gets done. You go on your short excursions, of course, you have to pay for, your excursions. You have to pay for those things, additionally, and all of that. But, all inclusive, I think, is a good way to go. And they have little trips, day trips you can take away to different places, different restaurants, and all of that. Of course, you have different spots depending on your style. Ocho and people say they say Ochos Rios all the time when they talk about Ocho Rios over here, but it's 8 rivers, so it's actually Ocho Rios. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But Ocho Rios, where you have the same Duns River Fall, that's a very nice place to visit if you're going in that location. If you're taking your cruise and they stop there, Montego Bay is beautiful. Of course, the whole island is gorgeous. Absolutely. Portland, if you're more kind of like laid back, you like the kind of more laid back setting, Portland is a wonderful place to visit if you like plants and flowers and all of that. Of course, they have beaches there too, but it's not quite the same for the beaches as on the North Coast and along that stretch right there. But there are so many different places because it's been a while since I've tried to go over the entire island, which you can't even do that too. It's not that big. So if you have enough time there, you can go from one point to the other and enjoy different things. But get advice from people that will, take good care of you, get recommendations from the hotel, you have your travel agents and all of that. And again, we're not travel advisors. We're just giving you our opinion, what works for us, what has worked for us in the past to kind of help you along, because we are in the season right now where people are starting to plan their vacations. So she says, yes, you should take the trip. It's awesome here. You'll be happy. And you did let Marlene tell you about it. Yes. And she says, yes, it's called enjoying the soft life. Yeah, that's Port Antonio over there. It's a little bit more laid back, but sometimes that's what you want. You're going through a lot of stress. You don't necessarily want to have that high intensity zip lining, that lot of drinking and all of that. You just want to be laid back.
Yeah.
Beautiful, like Frenchman's Cove, beautiful beach. Because one of my videos that I did, I was doing like a tablescape, tropical tablescape for tropical flowers and, the setting and everything like that, your pineapples and all of that. And I showed over just a little part of Frenchman's Cove. It's not a very big beach, but it's very nice, very laid back. And they take care of you at a hotel that's neighboring, and you have beautiful plants and things you can admire. They have the Blue Hole. They have the Trident. Trident, I'm just saying, you got to have money to stay at the Trident, because people like Arnold Schwarzenegger stays there sometimes. Michael Bolton, those, so they try to this kind of gotta have them deep pockets. So they just say, you know what, we're just gonna do it, so, but they have lots of different wonderful places over there that you can absolutely enjoy. So yes, Just do your research, check your travel advisories because those do change. May give you recommendations. So check on those things wherever you're going in the world because things are changing so much. And some places, even right now, you have to have a COVID shot in order to be able to travel there. So look for different vaccines that they may require. Every country has its own rules. So you want to check on those and see how they are going there. And of course, like I said, enjoy the food. There are different types of foods that you have there. Different culture. Try to enjoy it a little bit as much as you can, but do it safely. Get proper recommendations so where you go. Just know your limitations. What works for you, what you will and what you won't do. Because some places it may be like it could be like religious things that you're maybe not seeing things that way. So you want to check just different things that you're doing to make sure that you stay on point with all of that. So, enjoy the culture, enjoy the people and the food. Can we talk about the food? Oh, Mondale is here. Hi, Mondale from Johnson Home Decor. She said, I'm sorry I'm late. No worries, my dear. We're having a good time here talking about vacationing. She has a beautiful channel that does home decor. And she's also working on her outdoor space. She's going to be doing that upcoming. So she also shows like her pool area and her, her yard and stuff. And her husband does a good job, helping to with pretty much most of what maintenance of the house, decor, and everything. So that's wonderful channel that she has there. So you can always catch the replay. Mondale, I'd be very happy if you did that. And you guys can also please feel free to share this out because we try to touch on things that we think will help people, in terms of their planning and everything. And again, we're not travel advisors. We're just trying to tell you what works for us and hope it helps you in some way or someone that helps them in some way. So let's talk about the food. And of course, when people say Jamaica, most times the first thing that they think of is jerk chicken, which is not our national dish. Actually, you think it was because you start working somewhere over here. It's like, oh, you're from Jamaica? Are you going to bring us some jerk chicken? It's like automatically that's the go-to, the jerk chicken. And right here, my husband just brought the jerk season. This is the brand that we use. There are other brands, but this is the one that we use right here. Walker's Wood, you can get this on Amazon. A lot of stores carry it now, there where you Walmart. Are, you go to the international section. Walmart, in some, not all of the Walmarts, but some of them Walmarts, they have it there too. So you can make your own if you want. Kroger's, just different, I'm not sure if Publix has it or not. Yes, he said Publix does have it as well too. So different places, they have that, but definitely try the food. And speaking of food, to always carry little snacks with you, carry them in your little bag. Get a bag that's secure. Some people like the cross-body bags, across the body. You put your little things that you need, a little water in there, little crackers, what works for you, your emergency information, practice safety where you store your stuff, all of those things, just make sure that you're securing all of that. So we talked about the jerk chicken, so delicious. And you can ask them too, because sometimes it can be a little bit spicy. I will not lie, depending on who makes it. So tell them you want it mild if you're not into a lot of spicy food. When I was, younger, before I started having kids, I used to like everything hot. It's like if my nose wasn't kind of like, it wasn't hot enough. It wasn't hot enough for me. I said, girl, are you a bird? You just eat so much pepper in your food. And then once I got pregnant, for some reason, I didn't want a lot of, pepper like that. Like the hot peppers that we put in there, the habanero, Scotch bonnet, and all of that. And then once I started cooking for my kids, of course, I'm not going to give my younger kids foods that's really spicy. So as time, progressed, I started using less pepper in my food, but we still put a little bit here and there to give it that kick. So jerk chicken, I would say definitely try that. And there are oxtails. A lot of people like oxtails. Some people that are like, it's mostly bones. Let me tell you, don't worry about those bones in there. The meat that is on there, it is so good. If you get somebody who really knows what they're doing and knows how to cook it, it is delicious. And it has a little cartilage in there too, which is really, it's good, especially as women when you're kind of like losing some of the hormones change up the elasticity in your body, collagen and all of those things. Those things are good to eat, in your food, to have things that have that in there. And some people have an aversion to certain things like some people eat like the cow's feet and all of that. Those things are there too. If you're adventurous, you want to try that. But I say anywhere you go, whether it's Jamaica, you could be going to France, you could be going to Louisiana, you could be going to New York, the Midwest or whatever. Whenever they're serving you food, you always want to ask them, just ask in a nice way. And what is this one made of? So they'll tell you what's in it because you want to know ahead of time. You don't want to start eating your food and they tell you something that's in there and you're just like, oh my goodness. Because I remember one of my uncles, when he went to Germany, they said, would you like the day special? Because he didn't know how to speak, German and everything. And they said, would you like the day special? And he said, of course, I'll try it. And, they brought him the food and he ate it. And he said, you know what? That food was so good. I think I want some seconds. and they said, okay, sure. Whatever they say in German or whatever. And he said, by the way, what was it made from? And they said it's made of a rattlesnake. He threw up immediately in the restaurant because some people, that's how their brain is. Some people they'll be like, oh my gosh, I just ate that. But some people, if you tell them that's what they just ate, it's not going to stay down, and you don't want it happening to you. So I say if you're going to exotic places, it doesn't even have to be exotic, to be honest, ask them what's in there, but just do it in a nice way. And they'll tell you. Most places, they want tourists. They want people coming to visit. So they'll tell you. So you avoid it and you get something that really works for you.
I'm as culturally sensitive as anyone. But when I went to Japan, I couldn't eat the sushi that they had. I just couldn't. So at one time when we had some free time together, I spent an entire afternoon trying to find Chinese food in Japan.
Did you find any? You did find it? Okay.
Stir fry and noodles. I did find it. Because, you try, but I do know my limitations.
Right.
And I'm allergic to shellfish.
Yes, exactly. And that's why I'm saying you have to ask, because sometimes you have allergies and you don't know that the food is in there. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, that's another thing too. Again, guys, how could I forget that? Because we talked about, like having bug repellent, having your medications. Get something that is for allergies. You could maybe, I'm not promoting any brands or anything, but get like Zyrtec, or if you normally take like Benadryl, things like that kind of help you. So if God forbid something happens that you see you're breaking out in a rash or something, you can take that to kind of hold you off until you can get some help if you need additional help. Some things they go away easily. It doesn't take much time. But if you have, carry it with you, and this checklist, again, we talked about checklists, put that on your checklist. So you have those things. So if that should happen, or if you're traveling with your children, they may have allergies to certain things, people with medical conditions. Again, you may have a child who maybe has asthma that's traveling with you. And I'm sure parents know this, but sometimes, like I said, you're so busy planning your vacation and everything, you forgot to do it. So that's why the checklist is so important. They will need their things like their nebulizers and stuff like that to help them. And the EpiPens, that's another good one too. EpiPens, if you use those. I typically don't. I just carry like, Zyrtec or the other one. So carry those things, make sure you have them with you. So if you need them, that is good to go. Let me catch up on the chat here. I'm falling a little behind. Oh, she says, I will definitely watch a replay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if you guys can share it out too, I certainly appreciate that. So she says, hi, Farmer V. And Cheryl says, okay, thanks for that info about the cartilage. I always get them out. Yeah, you need to, well, not need to, but it's a good idea to have it. Some people have chicken feet too. And chicken feet is also another one, again, good source of that. Some people have an aversion. I was watching a lady the other day. What's her name? Ebony and Thyme, I think her channel is. Sometimes I listen to her when she does, like, I think it's on Mondays that she comes on and she talks about cooking in her kitchen. And she was showing you actually how to make like chicken. I think it was chicken stock that she was making, but she used the chicken feet to do it. And you just leave them in the slow cooker and have it cooked with some garlic and some like other seasonings as well. And then when she put them in there, then, basically it cooks done and she just gets the liquid off and she uses those to flavor all of her stuff. So that's a good one there. So yes. So what other kind of food did you want to tell them about that we have in Jamaica?
Oh my goodness.
Like the national dish, for example.
Ackee and saltfish. I thoroughly enjoy ackee and saltfish with boiled bananas and yam and boiled dumplings or fried dumplings if that's your preference.
Yes.
That's just the same. We also do a lot of curried goat. Not sure.
Some people don't like that. They have, and that's why I said to ask, because you may think maybe it's lamb or maybe it's beef, and it actually is, the goat meat that we curry down there. We eat that a lot. I'm not really sure where that culture came from. I know the curry part of the story, like curry chicken, those things are coming over from India because we had a lot of Indians who came over, in the late 1800s, they came over and they brought their culture with them. That's why Jamaica is a mixed bag. It's not just like one thing. We have so many different things, that we do over there. So it's a marriage of different cultures. Even someone was telling me the other day that the Irish are the ones that influenced our culture to do like corned beef and cabbage, because we have that quite often, as a quick go-to meal, or even like St. Patrick's Day, we'll do it over here sometimes. We have it all the time. It's just a quick go-to, and it's very nutritious for you. So that's an option too. But we have all of these things that come into our culture from China, from India, from the Ireland, from England, of course, that was our parent country before we became independent. So a lot of cultures are there, like the black cake that we make, that's from their fruit cake, but that's our version of the cake. So some people call it the black cake, they call it Christmas cake, they call it wedding cake. It's used for all of those occasions, and it is absolutely delicious. All of those candied fruits, a little splash of wine, and a splash of rum, which gets baked off, browning to make it dark, which is caramelized sugar. There's so many recipes for that, and it's delicious. I haven't found one I didn't like, unless somebody forgot to put something in there. It's always, what I mean, like they forgot I didn't put any baking powder or something. But other than that, and people have different recipes at Christmas time, mostly, where everybody does a little different spin to it. So one may put this, other one may put almond flavoring, maybe somebody else didn't, or just different things that we do. Some people, maybe they may put like orange peel in there. But you can even buy those, because they sell them like in you can get those on Amazon, actually, like the Jamaican black cake. It's kind of expensive though, because a little small one, maybe like about this size. This is not very big. You can see how it fits in my hand, right? That was maybe like about $25 or something. It's pretty pricey, but I understand why, because it has wine, which is expensive. It has a little splash of rum in there. The candied fruits are expensive, so of course they're gonna have to see to their costs. But I'm just saying that if you want to have it, it is gonna cost you, But yeah, so that's so that if you're there like in the holiday time, or sometimes they may even have you like during the year. I don't know. But the black fruit cake is another good one. But she did touch on the ackee and saltfish, and that's our national dish, which I said, like I did that in a previous video. That was from last year's summer, I think it was. We had done a collaboration for like a tropical tablescape garden type of thing. And so I did cover that. So, we normally put, as she said, like, we put our boiled green bananas in there. We put like, maybe put like boiled, like roasted breadfruit. But, there are different things in the culture that you get to see when you go there. And they are absolutely wonderful.
Is from
yes,
East
yes,
Indians.
yes.
Yeah.
Kalaloo, yes. So we have that, because kalaloo is kind of like spinach, for those who don't know what kalaloo is. And we kind of like stir fry it the same way. And it's very, very enjoyable if you season it properly, though. Because I remember one time one of my husband's, I won't say who it is, so they won't know if they ever watch this, but one of my husband's co-workers, we were newlyweds, and he had just come back to visit. And I said, I'm going to be making some breakfast. Do you want some? So I made breakfast, and I made some kalaloo, some meat off to the side. We had like our boiled bananas, dumplings, fried dumplings and everything. And he was just like, but this kalaloo tastes really good. And he said, my wife cooks it like it, when my wife cooks it, it tastes like it's green bush. I said, you better not tell her that. No. I said, you better not tell her that. But all it is just putting a lot of onions in there. That's the only thing that I do different. Mm-hmm. The onions give it that flavor. So just put a lot of onions in there, and you will be good to go. It's going to be so delicious. And just like if you're sauteing spinach, because it's prepared the same way. Over here, if you can't grow them in your backyard, like during the summertime or late spring or whatever, early fall, they have the canned ones too. But for me, I don't like the canned ones as much. If I'm kind of feeling desperate for some kalaloo, I'll buy it. It's already steamed. I like cooking mine for myself and having the flavors, the onion, the black pepper, and all of those things just kind of like seeping into it and giving us that nice, strong flavor. So let me see what we're saying here now. So I'm missing a little bit back here. So Neil Chin says, use apps such as WhatsApp to communicate with home to save on communication costs. Yes, and like WhatsApp is a new app. Well, not new. It's been there for a few years, because you don't have to worry about like roaming charges. You can just install WhatsApp on your phone. I'm not promoting them, by the way. But it is an option that you have. Maybe, I don't know if Messenger might be free, possibly. But, those are ways. And you can do your video call right there. They can see you, can see them. They can see your okay and everything. You don't have to worry about charges and all of that. So that's a good option right there. So thank you for that information, my dear. And then he did put brown stew fish, and that is so delicious, where they basically brown stew the fish. Or I should say because we did some fish the other day. So if you go back and look at our live, I think it was maybe 2 lives ago. Was it 2 lives ago or 1 live ago? I can't remember. But very recently, we did some brown stew fish, and it was so good. So you can even look at that video and see how we cooked it, and you can make it for yourself. You can use like, like, because we use like salmon because it was kind of like around Easter, but you can use like snapper. If you can get like parrotfish, different kind of fishes that those are tropical type fish, but you can use fish that from over here, based on what is available to you. But it's very, very delicious. And then like a fish and meat sauce right here. Not promoting the name again, but this helps to flavor your food a lot. Fish and meat sauce from Jamaica, right? So that's the one that we use sometimes. So very, very delicious. So yes, so we did talk about that. So with the ackee and saltfish, we also put in, as Bruce Lee is saying here, roast breadfruit with ackee, and they have other thing that we call bami, made from the cassava root. They make little flat cakes out of it, and then they, and we cooked that the other day too. So guys, if you want to see all these delicious foods, like when you cook your ackee and saltfish, or you cook like your fish, you can check out that video and you'll see all the steps on how we did it. My husband, he's a boss chef, so of course he did that step by step. And he bringing me everything, guys. So this is what it looks like here. Let me show you. It's just like from cassava right here. A little cake with it. This is one of another brand that we use here. I don't promote any specific brand, but we'll show you whatever we use. And that's how they use it on there. They probably have a little fish. Yeah, there's little Mr. Fish. And that's the thing too. In Jamaica, when we cook fish, we cook it with the head on there. I had no idea that was an aversion to some people until I lived in America. They said the head is on there. The fish is looking at me. I was like, oh no, I did not know. I'm so sorry. So of course, if I have people coming and I'm making fish for them, I cut the head off, and you can always use the head to make like fish stock and make fish tea soup, as we call it, or whatever. You can use it that way. But the head, we take it off for people that are here. But back in Jamaica, so don't be surprised if you visit Jamaica and you order some brown stew fish or steamed fish or whatever, and the head is still on there. It's nothing personal. That's the way that we cook it. So that's just, a part of our culture there. So I'm catching up on the chat here. I don't want to miss anybody's comment. So Cheryl says, ackee and saltfish with rice and peas. Yeah, some people like it with rice and peas. I prefer mine with like, that kind of hard food, but that's just me. Like, my dumplings, my green bananas, all of those things. She said, it's the bomb. Trust me, I used to always love stopping at Faith's Bend. Yes, and Faith's Bend, that's an area there. I'm not sure if because they made some new highways down there. So I'm hoping that they haven't bypassed Faith's Bend. Maybe they have. But, they had all kinds of people on the side of the road. It was wonderful. As you're driving along, on both sides, you have like the street side vendors, and they were legally doing this. It's set up by the government. They're cooking like those large pots of soup. You have your ackee and saltfish. You have your oxtail. You have your brown stew fish. Anything you want. They have everything there. And, when food is cooked in the pot, like for hours, you get what they call like the pot liquor at the bottom where it is cooking in and it's soaking in. And the wood fire fragrance flavors on that food, you are in dietary heaven. There is no other way to say it. Now I'm ready to go book my trip like right now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just taking me back. And I hope it is taking you there too. I'm not necessarily promoting Jamaica because every country has their thing that they do. But we're just saying that this is, it's a wonderful experience. So if you want to go to France, they have wines. If you're, you drink. Alcoholic, they have cheeses. They're good for cheeses, grapes, all of those wonderful things that they do, cook on the little, the sidewalk cafes and everything. So it just depends on where you're going, and everybody has their own thing. But that's why I say try new things, but ask first what is in it, so that way, you're not getting allergies. And again, carry your allergy medication, guys. If you use Zyrtec, Benadryl, EpiPen, whatever, take it with you. If your kids have asthma or whatever, or you have it, bring your stuff that you need. Take them with you, please, because you don't want to ruin your trip, right? So let's see what we have here now. So let's see. So she says, yes, Neil, oxtail and beans. Woohoo, I'm a foodie, right? Yeah, me too. I love my food when it's cooked properly, no joke. And Neil Chin says, yes. And the boiled corn in the chicken soup. Yeah, so like the chicken soup that they would have at Faith's Bend, they had the corn. And our corn is not like the sweet corn in America. It doesn't have as much sugar in there. But when it is soaking in there, it is so good. And you did like that one, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So let's see now. So, this is Nikki. Welcome, Nikki. The everyday life of an OCD's chick. She has a gardening channel and she does some wonderful things on there. And she has a lot of little, container stuff that she does. So she shows you don't even have to have a whole bunch of space in your yard. You can use like container gardens. You can plant. She does all kinds of veggies. She does flowers too. Very, very nice channel. So guys, check her out if you can. It's the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick. And then we have Deborah Cabasa Home Living says, hi, everyone. This is my lovely sister here, not by blood. What you say? She said, sister from another mister. She does wonderful decor as well too, and she's also into fitness. She likes to keep in shape, give you fit meals and stuff like that. So she I want to welcome her. And she's from Puerto Rico, so we have a little mix, going on here. Mondel is from Guyana, we're from Jamaica, we have Puerto Rico, different countries. Lorna is from Jamaica as well too, so we have a different mix, which I like that. I'm kind of like, I'm an international girl. That's just me. I like interacting with different cultures, of course, within limits. You have to have your boundaries, of course, but I love people. That's just me. I celebrate different cultures as long as it's something that doesn't conflict with what I believe, and that's me. But yes, so Farmer V says, oh, she's saying hi to Nikki from the Everyday Life of an OCD chick. So let me make sure. So Deborah says, I fried my fish with the head. You see, and she's from Puerto Rico. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, from the islands, that's how we do it. And we don't even think there's anything wrong. I remember once I even went to Walmart again when I just came over here and we bought some fish. And the girl was checking it on. She didn't even want to touch it, to swipe it. Because it wasn't like that where you have like the gun, the little scanner gun that you can use and scan your food. You kind of like had to hold it, scan it, and whatever. And she was just kind of like, what are you gonna do with that? I said, we're gonna eat it. She's like, but it's looking up at you. I'm just like, oh my gosh. I said, we're gonna take the head off. It's okay. I had to tell her that just for her to get past the shock of seeing it there. Seriously. I said, we're gonna take it off. That's how they sell it, so that's how we buy it. Just to put her at ease, because why would I try to make a fuss over something that's, not critical? Look at Lorna. Lorna says, I love the head. She loved the fish head. Lorna, you're cracking me up so much right now. Why? Because I do too. Do you eat fish now? You never used to when you were growing up. Do you eat fish now?
A little bit, I do. Yes.
Okay. What kind do you eat now? Salmon?
Tuna.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So we have her over here. But when she was little, she never had fish at all. She just did not like it. Lorna, you have me cracking up. You have no idea. But only thing I'd say is most of the fish, like, if the fish is larger, like you have like some, flesh, certain parts on there, but some of them is really small. You're not going to have a lot of it. But like the one that we call parrotfish, the head is normally bitter. So you don't want to try to eat that one. So you can ask them, what kind of fish this is if you're going to try something, if you're feeling adventurous, So let's see. Hope I'm not missing anything. So Cheryl says, yes, the highways took away a lot from around here. Well, that's kind of sad because they built a lot of highways to make traveling easier and safer down there. But it cut away from a lot of these, like, street side
vendors,
cafeterias, that they had. So not even cafeterias, it's more like, street vendors that shop out there. So that they cook food out there. So I'm just like, we kind of missed that. I hope they will arrange something where I don't know how they would do it though, because the highways are not really set up to have people selling stuff. So maybe they can have like, you can get off at that exit, tell them, put the billboards, you can get stuff like Faith Spend here or whatever. So you can come off and then go back on and get some food and enjoy the culture, But anyway, just to say that that's something to look at there. Because, like we're foodies, right? Especially me. So, Oh, okay. I'm getting a message, guys. Can you read what let me see who's it? What Deborah Cabasa said. Let me just answer to her.
She says, today I made chicken soup and I added cassava. It was so good.
I can only imagine. Chicken soup is delicious.
Yes.
With cassava. And if, for us, we would add some boiled dumplings and yams and green bananas and potatoes. Delicious. Thank you, Deborah.
Yes. And I think that may be one of our lives that we do. My husband and I, we're probably going to do one, maybe like in the summertime, showing you how we do, like, because in Jamaica, the culture is that on Saturdays, we have soup. Most times it's chicken soup, but sometimes we do like beef soup, or we might do like, we may have fish, but fish is normally like something to have before your meal because it's really light and it comes to kind of like, get the gas out of you or whatever. And then you have your heavy meal after that. But like beef and pea soup, oh my goodness! And you put like the cured or the salted beef in there. People who eat pork, they put like the cured pigtail in there, and you make it nice and thick. Let me tell you something. There is nothing like it. It is once you have that, you're not gonna go back. because that flavor from the cured beef, like salted beef, kind of like when they do turkey necks, cured turkey necks, or ham hocks or whatever. Well, I guess you could probably use those in there too. But we basically use in the islands, we use, some people who eat pork, they'll basically have the pigtail in there, or like us, we will use like the salted beef. Of course, you have to wash it out a little bit first, soak it out so the excess salt comes out, and it gives it that nice kind of smoky flavor. And then when it cooks and it's really thick, some of the peas that kind of like cook out a little bit, and it's nice and thick and rich. There is nothing like that. Oh my goodness. I don't think we'd have enough time to do it on a live though. I don't know, because it really, you have to cook it. Or maybe we can like pressure cook the peas. I mean the beans, and we call them peas even though they're beans because we class them together. But it's normally kidney beans that we use in there. That nice kidney bean look, that makes it really rich and thick, and the flavor too. I mean, I've seen people use like pigeon peas, but I'm just like, for me, it's not the same. The look is different, the texture is different, and all of that. So let's see now. So she said the chicken soup. So we talked about that. Farmer B says, I'm from Texas and my family used to fry the fish with the head on it. I would eat out the fried eye. That thing tastes horrible. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Some people really like it, but I don't like it. It just has this flavor to me. I'm just like, what flavor? Where did that come from? But some people, and they crunch and they really like it. So it just depends on what you like. So more power to you, Farmer B. More power to you. And then Deborah says, I eat the veggies and my husband eat the chicken legs. Oh, okay. So you eat the veggies. Okay. All right. Well, whatever works for you, man. So Cheryl says, Marley, you're such a worried sister. Love people. Yeah, I try to, it don't always work. I mean, I just try to be honest with people in a gentle way. But sometimes, it may be, that's just not the way they see it. So I'm not going to say that, like everybody likes me, everybody gets along with me. But, I love people and I just try to do what I figure, is right for them, and just to be there for them as much as I can be, because no man is an island. And sometimes you don't need somebody today, but sometimes you may need them in 4 years, in 5 years, in 10 years, you don't know, or, they may need you. Sometimes somebody who you least expect, they come to you and they're seeking help. And I'm not talking about money, just someone that you can talk to, about something that's going on in your life, And even just on a regular, I mean, I'm traveling most times, almost all the time. We make friends on the flight. I'm just like, do I look approachable or something? I don't know. They start talking to me, telling me their whole life story and everything. And I'm perfectly fine with it. I actually like doing that, as long as it's not anything that's personal or offensive to me. But they have never, ever done that, knock on wood. But yes, so that typically happens. Sometimes it happens in the airport and on the plane, or both. I remember one time it actually helped me because I hadn't traveled in a really, really long time, and everything had changed. And the airport got a lot bigger. I'm just like, what do I do next? But because I was talking to this young lady who was traveling as well, we sat in the same row in the airport. I just kind of like went with her, and we kind of like went through all the steps. That's when my mother had passed. Well, she was terminally ill at the time, rest her soul. And I had to go down and see her. And I'm sorry to bring this up. But anyway, I had to go and see her. And, she was there, helping me, this young lady. So it kind of like helped me to adjust. So, it's not just to have a good time with them, but also just to, just interact with people. You never know. Like I said, you're going to need somebody to help you. So it's really good to, have all of that. So I have digressed. So let me get back on track here. So she says, who is laughing? Oh, she said red pea soup with the thing. Oh, some people call it the thing, and that's pork. But we're not pork eaters, so some people will have that in there. She said, if you've ate the fried eyes, no ma'am, absolutely not. Every day it just says, Farmer V, you are gangsta. And back in Jamaica, they don't even see that's anything major. It's not a big deal there. Some people just do it. It's just kind of like a part of the meal. They're just moving along. It's like people who, they'll chew on their bones, and it's kind of like, I'm chewing my bones because I like it, whatever. But they wouldn't do it like eating out with people. But if they're at home and you go to visit, okay, you're in my house, I'm going to enjoy my bones. And that's it, So she's cracking up over there. Nikki from the Everyday Life of OCD's chick, she is cracking up over there. So yes, so that's the food. I'm trying to see if I touch on all the foods and if I missed anything. Oh yes, apart from like the cooked food that we have there, we also have like fruits. Want to tell them about some of the fruits that we have there?
Well, we have guava.
Yes.
We have sweet sop and sour sop.
Yes.
We have tamarind. Oh my goodness. a good tamarind, a good sweet tamarind. It's great.
Or the sour one too, either one.
And baby bananas. I'm not sure how many people have ever seen baby bananas. They're like the size of my hand, but
The
maybe
little
an
hand
inch
of
smaller.
bananas.
Yeah, so delicious and sweet. I can't have it now. I'm a diabetic, so
Yeah.
full disclosure.
Right.
But
And that's the thing too. When you're traveling, you have to know what works for you. Because some of the things like mangoes, listen, I gotta have, especially like East Indian mangoes and Saint Julian or Julie as we call it. I have to have those. I have to have those. But they have a lot of sugar in them. So
they do.
if you're gonna
Yeah.
have it, maybe like have a salad, with something that's not as sweet, and you can put like a few cubes of mango in there. And you probably should be okay. Or if you need medication, because you're diabetic, then have your medication so that way you can balance out, what you're doing there. But the fruits, like you said guava, what is it? Sweet sop, sour sop.
Yes.
And the sour sop they are found in recent times, like I talked about in my previous video about when we're talking about like the garden tea party, and we're looking at different teas. In recent years, studies have shown that sour sop, the fruit, and I think the leaves and the fruit, I believe, that they're actually very good at fighting cancer cells. So in recent times, people have been having them. Of course, if you can go there and get the actual leaves themselves to drink that, the one right from the tree itself, then that is absolutely excellent for you to try.
And jackfruit.
Jackfruit is another good one again
yes.
too, yes. But you have to let someone show you how to eat jackfruit, because there are certain parts in the jackfruit, if you eat them, it can really give you problems to your intestinal tract. It can mess you up. So that they'll show you the part that you pull out properly. It has a seed around that part. And I did a video on that sometime last year. I went to the international market and I showed you like the part that you would pull out of there, and that's the part that you would eat.
How many mangoes can you name? Different types.
Oh man.
Let's start. Blackie,
hairy mango, Saint Julian or Julie mango, East Indian mango, number 11, Bombay mango, John Bellyful. That one is not very common. Hayden mango. Which other one again? Am I missing any? Cheryl, please tell me what you said. Oh, long mango. Yes, mango. And another one they call lady mango too. And here I said hairy mango. But you see how many I probably have at least 10 right now. And these are not like hybrids, because they have hybrids of, my husband said, sweetie, come brush me. Oh my goodness. But yes. Oh, and we have Minister McFarlane here. She says, hi everyone. Hi Andrea Marlene, God bless. Just celebrating my granddaughter. She turned 12 today. Yay! Congratulations to your granddaughter and many more. She's such a sweet soul, May she have many more and continue to be a blessing to so many people. I think I may have missed something here. Dickie from Everyday Life of OCD, she said, I love good fried pork chops. Okay. All right. So yeah, so she's a pork eater, so she likes that. And I hear about pork chops that when they're flavored, some people, they have them I think it's with like a peach. I think it's maybe like candied peaches or like a peach jelly or something, or they make a peach sauce. And it goes really well with pork chops. You can let me know if that's the case, because I'm not really an expert on that subject. Apple sauce. Yeah, possibly too. Yeah, but people put like peaches on there too. Peaches and they do it in different ways. Kind of like a jellied or sauce or jam or whatever. Yeah, if you like that kind of a thing for certain. So let's see now. So Cheryl says, Marlene, you should be here. Now the mango tree is bearing crazy, real nice. Aww.
We would sit, because as a kid we would go upstairs, and then the mango tree was right like there were so many limbs. It was next to the house, and so we would sit on top of the stairs, hanging our legs dangling, and just grabbing the mangoes. You eat four at a time. The branch would come over.
And when you're little, you can just eat whatever you want, exactly. No problems, right? So you would just sit there and just eat them, and what I would love about that, because that's St. Julian mango that we have at my mom's house. And you go out in the morning, and this mango is not one that ripes like really bright orange or red. It kind of has a little bit of a yellow. Yeah. When it's green, it looks green. But when it's changing to get ripe, it has like a yellow hue, almost like a chartreuse kind of a color. And it may get a little bit of red in there, just a little bit or something like that. But how you would know is like you feel them, and if they feel something that's like, this one is ready. Or sometimes in the morning and this is typical of mango trees, and it's not, the mangoes are bad. They're just ready for you. They'll fall on the ground. And they don't even get bruised or damaged. Unless it fell on a small stone that has a point or something. It just falls on the ground, on the grass or whatever. You pick them up and you wash them. Some people, they get like a little container with water, and they will sit right there under the mango tree, wash the mangoes off in the water, and eat. And some people, they eat the skin, like the St. Julian mango. I actually have the skin with it because it does. Because some mangoes you can't do that, like the East Indian mangoes, that will make your lips itch. And it's kind of shaped, like the paisley design. It's kind of almost like a hook. It kind of shaped like a hook. So that one, it is one of the best tasting mangoes. It does leave like little hairs in your teeth, so you have to pull out the mango strand sometimes. So that can be a little annoying afterwards. But to me, it's one of the best tasting mangoes in the world. Yes. But the skin can be irritating, so you want to peel that off and just put it to the side. But the St. Julie mango, I'm eating everything, except the seed, of course. But I'm telling you, delicious. So let me see now. So Cheryl says, as we speak, I have a big piece of jackfruit in my handbag. So enjoy. I won't be jealous. But, because it's coming up to summertime, as you're getting more into the, late spring, summertime, you'll find that the international markets, they have a lot of things that we like. One of them is the Korean one that's not too far from here. So we can get jackfruits. And like I said, I did a video on that sometime last year where we actually took a trip there. And so we saw all of the fruits, that they had, all the exotic ones, like the mangoes, all the different things. Okay. She wants me to send her the link. Can I do that? I'm gonna have to ask my I don't know, let me see. Cheryl, you can just hit the share button and it will send it to you, because I for some reason I can't get on there right now. But just hit the share button. You can come off the chat, not the video, but the chat, and go to, I think you have to come off. You just hit share and you can share the link with whomever you want and it will come up. So that would be it, my dear. So let's see now. So where are we now? I don't want to lose my space here. So she said, wow, that's a lot of mangoes. Absolutely. It certainly is. And Deborah says, I didn't know the name of the mangoes. All I know is that I love mangoes. Oh, I hear you, but we're connoisseurs of mangoes in Jamaica.
Oh, yes.
Once you live there, it's a part of your life, because you go and shop and you want to ask for the one that you want, because each of them have their own different little flavor with them. And you may be feeling for that kind or that type. Number 11 is another good one too that I mentioned earlier, but that one, for some reason, if you eat it right down to the seed, it gets a little bit sour, a little bit more tangy down there. But getting to that point, ooh, it's so delicious. Love it.
And the Julie mango doesn't have to be fully ripe, because there's this point where it's not quite ripe, but it's soft enough for you to peel. You can have it with a sprinkling of salt, and it's just sweet and salty at the same time. Delicious.
And some really people, good. They like green mangoes too, so they'll have it. It's not even. Not like young, but it's not. When it's mature, they'll pick it, or they'll buy it or whatever, and then they'll put like a little salt, like you said on this. People even put black pepper on there. Yeah, salt and pepper, and they eat it like that. So yeah. So let me see what else we have. So Lorna says, I love jackfruit. Yeah, and the flavor of that thing, it can't beat that. When I tell you, when you smell that thing, it just smells so good. It's absolutely delicious. So, she gave her so OCD's chick, that would be Nikki. She's giving a celebratory cake and balloon for Minister Juanita for her granddaughter's birthday. So that's very nice of you. Thank you so much for doing that. So Cheryl said the good old number 11, and she's Neil Chin says, congrats, Pastor Juanita. Cheryl says, here in Bombay, it's a lot. Yes, we have a lot of mangoes there, but some of them they call them like table mangoes, which those ones don't have as much, they don't have a lot of the kind of strands of the flesh in there. They're kind of more
meaty,
more more compact, I would say. So like those, they tend to use those more, and that's like Hayden and I think Bombay sometimes, and of course the Julie mango that we talk about a lot. So they'll use those in fruit salads a lot, where they'll just go in and peel the skin off and then cut it in cubes and just add it to a fruit salad. So those are more for that. While the other ones, like the East Indian, you typically wouldn't put those like in your salad, because it has a lot of fiber in there. But the fiber is good, but it's just that it doesn't work as well with a fruit salad. But people, they do different things based on what their preferences are. So let's see now. So Cheryl says, yes, and just eat. Yes, Warren goes up there every morning. So yeah, and that's kind of like your little kickstart to your breakfast, right? Absolutely. So Neil Shin said there are hotels in Montego Bay where there are mango trees outside the cottages, and you can have it right off the tree. Yes. So I would say if it's warm, if it's in the morning, you can have it, just wash it and eat it. But if it's in like the middle of the day, maybe a little bit warm. So you may want to chill it and wash it and chill it in your refrigerator a little bit first, and then enjoy it when it's nice and cool. But yes, because even when I don't, some hotels you have to ask them first though, because some of them they don't want you picking them, and some of them they don't mind. So it's good to just confirm with them. Is it okay for us to pick the fruit off the tree? And I'd say don't just go and pick it without consent. Get that consent first, because you don't want to do something and then it causes an issue and you have unpleasantness in your journey. So that's what I would definitely say. So let's see. So Bruce Lee says, so he's enjoying all of that. So Cheryl says they hear a tree around the back. Oh, so you have one around there, sweetheart, planted. Even okay, even they like them too. Oh my goodness. Cheryl says, "What are you drinking?" Oh, I'm not it's gonna be no alcoholic for me. So this is actually just some cranberry juice. We had a busy day today, a lot going on, because we typically, we would either me or my husband, mostly he would make some kind of a tropical drink for us. But maybe that's the future we do something else, because we have some videos coming up in the summertime. We're actually gonna make some stuff. So we'll most likely be drinking, one of those tropical things that we have. I'm more like for celebrations, I'll have like a glass of champagne or something, but I'm not really someone who like drink mixed drinks, but that's to each his own. But this is cranberry that I'm having right here. And you said you're having some water over there. Yeah. So let's see. So where am I? So Pastor Juanita says Apostle and I are eating mangoes right now. This lady, I think she kind of has a sixth sense of what I'm doing, because the last time we were cooking, she was eating the exact same thing that we were cooking. We must have that telepathy going on. There is some connection there. I don't know what it is, but isn't that something? We're talking about mangoes and they're eating the mangoes right now. And she just finished her celebration for her granddaughter too, but yet still, she's eating what we're talking about. So Nielsen said the giant mangoes. Hayden, yeah, Hayden was another one as well too. Yeah, those are huge.
When that fell, it just boof. Huge.
So Nielsen says yes, they are about the size of a large grapefruit. Yes.
Yeah.
So number Julie East Indian right up my street. Yes, so we love all of those. So Nielsen says the hotels that have these trees allow you to pick them. Typically, because we had stayed at one in Kingston and I didn't really ask them, which I probably should have, because it would have been good to have it at the time. I didn't ask them. But then we had so many at my mom's house. So I was like, we can get hers. It's okay. It's not a big deal. But yeah, but definitely ask them, I would say, just to confirm. Because sometimes rules change. They just want to confirm and make sure that they say, it's okay, for that. And if you're here watching it on the chat, I want to welcome you. This is Marlene's How To's, my home and garden channel. My labs are freestyle. We do topical things. We have a lot of fun. Sometimes I have guests on here. My husband joins me sometimes. Sometimes my sister does. My channel is gardening, but this allows me to, do other things and interact with you, which I really like that, because we share thoughts, ideas. You give me some ideas, I give you some, she does, he does, whatever we're doing. So it's an exchange of ideas, and I love them. So these are, they're freestyle, so they're different topics. And you can always go back, and if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button to my channel. You can give this video a like, a thumbs up. And you can also go to the live tab to see some of the very topical ones that we've done so far. We've done like when it was Women's International Day coming up, we talked about women's health, all the 34 symptoms of perimenopause. We've showed how to cook cabbage and corned beef around St. Patrick's Day. We've showed how to cook like fish and steamed cabbage. We've done like preparing for Thanksgiving, preparing for Christmas, just different topics that's happening at that time. But the replays are there, so you can always go in and watch them. You can share the videos whenever you like. And of course, I appreciate that. And we have all these wonderful creators, but I did link my sister's channel. She has a new channel, Andrea's Kidney Transplant Life. She did a wonderful video yesterday about traveling on dialysis, the important things to remember. So be sure to check her channel out. It is linked in the live. So when you're finished, you can always go back in and take a look at that and just, show her some love. It's a new channel.
Thank
so of
you.
course we want to have, as much people coming over for her as possible. And share with people too have, who are, have kidney disease, whether they're going through it or they've been through it or it's a family member, because she discusses things that are really very helpful based on her experience, and she's, doing pretty well, vision of health. So, God has been good to her. So,
right.
But there are ways, things that help you, along the way. So let's see now. And if anybody, is in that position, there is hope. Never give up. Keep trying every day. Keep trying every day. prayers, they go a long way. So, definitely put that in there and see what God says. So let's see now. So I don't want to miss any comments. Cheryl says they're really big. One can eat or serve a family of 4 to 6. Yeah, they are huge, very big mangoes. They are large. And she says, Pastor Juanita says, I sent you a picture of the mangoes. They are so delicious. Let me see if I can see them in here where it is. I don't know how they came over. Oh, yes, she did.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for the picture.
Can I turn it this way so the picture can be bigger? It's probably, oh yeah, it is. Let me do it. Look at this, guys. Look right here. The light is kind of getting in the way a little bit. Let me see if I can. Oops, I don't want to turn the phone off. You can't, I'm sorry, you can't see it so good, but trust me, it is there. These are some good looking mangoes. I'm sorry you can't see it from the lighting. I don't know what else to do about it. But anyway, these look like Julie mangoes. They're delicious. A little bit of a hybrid in there, I can tell, but nevertheless, I can tell.
Yeah, like a cross between East
something
Indian
else.
and Julie.
But I can tell you, those are going to build. She already told us. They're delicious. I can tell just by looking. Wonderful, wonderful. So let me see now. So Neil Chin says, remember your thumbs up, everyone. Appreciate the love. Yes, thank you so much. And people have been doing that, so I certainly appreciate you all for doing that. And Deborah says, oh, yes, I saw Andrea's video. So, yes. And thank you, Deborah. Appreciate you. And we're praying for you and your daughter, because her daughter, I don't think she minds me saying, because she does say it sometimes in her videos, which is a decorating channel. She does talk about her daughter, that her daughter is on dialysis. So she is in our prayers. We're praying for her that, God will just, do, a miracle and just work things out the way he sees best. And we just, have to put our trust in him that, he'll give us, a good outcome. So we'll see what he says, but we just keep praying and hoping and just do the best that you can do to maintain, what you're doing as you go along. All we can do is pray and do our best and leave it in his hands, and that's it. But we're praying for you. We're, that kind of a support system, not in your face kind of thing, but, behind the scenes, believe me that we definitely are. So Cheryl says, yes, this is live, so natural. I love it. Me too, and that's what I'm saying. Because like on YouTube, I love YouTube. They're an excellent source. They've helped me in so many ways in medical issues I've had, in things I've need to look up how to do, helped her and everything like that. But at the same time, when you have a channel, if you do too many different things, it confuses the algorithm and they don't know who to put your video out to. So you really have to try to brand your channel, because I was kind of like doing many different things. And I've kind of said, you know what, based on what I'm seeing and hearing, I kind of have to just do gardening. Those videos do the best. If I'm doing a collab or whatever and I can tie gardening into it, I will try the best I can. But I have to stick to gardening because that is what they expect. That's what people who come on, not on the lives, but on the regular videos, that's what they expect. So that's what I try to do. And I've been trying since the year started. And, it seems to be going well so far in terms of me trying to stick to that. And I'm really trying. So sometimes I'll say no for whatever reason, but it's not because I don't want to be in it. It's just that it's not appropriate for my channel. And I kind of have to have it at the back of my mind, because even like for her, she's doing like, what's the name now for dialysis and kidney transplant patients. But then you did one with us about the porch, or that one that you did, which another one is coming up, by the way. We're going to have a refresh to show how the plants are doing. When I tell you, her plants, oh my goodness, they are the boss.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous. Did you always think you had a green thumb?
No.
See? Goodness, so everyone can have a green thumb, right?
I just watched Mommy at home. I never did like plants or anything.
Yeah. And then just keep watching like videos like mine.
Yes.
Self-promotion. Yes. For tips here and there. But they look so good, guys. I'm telling you. So, we're going to try to do that, because the collab, and I'll just interject that right now, just before I forget. Where's my pen? Anyway, it's going to be on May 11th. There are 7 of us on this one. We're 7 on the previous ones. 2 couldn't join us for different reasons, but it's going to be on May 11th. We're going to be doing, and you guys, please feel free to join us. It's going to be a spring porch refresh collaboration. So if you wanted to show us whatever your niche is, if you do DIYs, like say you make wreaths for the door, you maybe may do something that looks pretty, some decor for your porch. Maybe you may want to, show how you thrifted something and you change it over and you fix it in and make everything look good for spring. Because people are looking for those videos right now. So, it's good to put them out there. So, maybe you're someone who plants flowers like me, or just want to show how to maintain them, do something different with them, repurpose something. It could be a clean with me. If you do clean with me on your channel, you can just do clean with me, show how you cleaned up your porch. You don't have to plant flowers. If you want to use fake flowers, that's up to you. Whatever your channel is about, just stick to your niche and come along and join us. Um, I'm trying to think. I really need to put out something in my community tab so people can see it. So I'm going to try to work on that. But we still have some time. But go ahead and get your footage even now. If everything looks good like the way you want it to, get your footage now. Get your thumbnail now if you can. Put it to the side. And when we're ready for reload, you just go ahead and follow the instructions that'll be on there. You just add in the people that are on the listed below, link their channels in the description box. And that's all you need to do. If you don't do it, I won't be upset. It's nice to do it, but I'm not going to say, oh, you didn't do it. I'd prefer if you did, but if you forgot to do it, you didn't have the resource, then, I'll just be like, okay, next time, hopefully. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at. The main thing is to use a hashtag. The hashtag is going to be Spring Porch 23. And I have to put B because I don't like to make extra long playlists just, unending. So I'm going to type that in here. So stay with me, guys. So it's Spring. Those of you who aren't, going to be participating as a participant, of course, we always welcome you to watch the video. So it's going to be Spring Porch, and it's 23, and I put the letter B, and everything is lowercase, the letter B. So that's the hashtag right there. So I hope that you will join us right there. So it's hashtag Spring Porch 23B. So we're going to be doing a refresh, and that's going to be on May 11th. All right. So Cheryl said, I wish I had a green thumb. Listen, let me tell you, everyone does inside of them. Just like how you weren't born knowing how to cook. I wasn't, no one was. You had to learn. Either you watch somebody do it, or you watch some videos, or you read a book, recipe book, or something. It's just a matter of technique, tweaking things here and there, believe me. And I'm going to do a video like a few weeks from now, talking about things to look for just to make sure that your plants survive and that they come to. And you can watch some of my videos too. I did one on perennials recently, because if those are ones that are kind of like, they're drought resistant, they survive really well. So you have a good outcome in most cases with those, so that's what I would say. So Deborah says, I have my even house plants too, because Deborah has some really good house plants. She says, I have my plants, and I have one that I have for 15 years. I will be sharing it in the porch collaboration. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be gorgeous. I already could tell. It's going to be gorgeous. 15 years, because one of my a lady friend of ours, sometimes she comes on the chat here, and she has a pothos, and she's had it for maybe like about 5-6 years, and that thing is like this all the way down cascading. Beautiful. It's gorgeous. So yeah, so definitely, Deborah, we can't wait to see that one. For 15 years, you've had that plan, so that's wonderful. Neil Chin says, also when you travel, take pictures. I was going to get to that as well, too. From memories for your tomorrows, make good friends as you travel and learn good things from the cultures you encounter as you travel. Yes. So Farmer V says, awesome. Hashtag Spring Porch 23B. So Farmer V, you're on here. So you have the information, madam. So I really hope that you will join us. I'm going to put it in my community tab. The thing is, I'm not sure if I'm doing it wrong or not, but because I have like an invite card, but for some reason when I try to put them there, it cuts it off. So I have to do a separate invite card that fits in that small space, because I think it's maybe like 4x3 that the community tab is. It's not like a 16x9. So I need to do over another invite card that fits, because we have a lot of people, so I have to fit them in on there and put it on there, the community tab. But I will put it out there so that you guys can see it, and you can see the names of the channels. And to get the channels for the link, you just go to their About You page. If you don't know, if you can't see it in the if you're not going to watch a video of theirs, at least go to their About You section, grab their channel link from there, and put it in the description box for your video. So Farmer V, I really hope that you'll join us. I'm not going to force anybody. It's just free, free will or whatever. But we love to have as many people as we can join in on us. So Cheryl says, oh Lordy, my battery is at 3%. If you don't see me, love you, everyone. I really enjoyed being a part of tonight. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Love you back, Cheryl. So Deborah says, and also I have the babies from the mom. Oh, you have the babies from the mama plant. And I have given some away. Yes. And that's a good thing with gardening too. When you do your gardening, your flowers or whatever, they're house plants or plants outdoors, and you have the little ones coming up, give them to someone, because sometimes it's actually healthier for the plants. When you trim some back, when you, divide them out from the flower beds or the container gardens, it actually goes a long way to give, things to someone else. So let me see. So Deborah says, and I also have the babies. Oh, I said it already. I'm sorry. You said, I'm going to start planting some little stuff. Yes, absolutely. dear, could you please bring me the one I got today from someone? Because I was at a meeting for a group that I belong to, a faith-based group that I belong to, and we were at our house for a meeting with some of the leaders, and she had a plant that kind of like what you said there, Deborah. But she had this one here. Isn't this gorgeous? The leaves are shaped like a heart. So I cut one off because it was really long there, and some of them were drying out. So I cut one off of here. So it's in the water, and this is very easy. Just put it in the water, that like I did right here. And my mom, what caught my eye, because my mom used to have these, of course, that's going to touch me in a special way. So that's how they look right there. Some of them can probably get a little bit darker, but I think they're pretty. They have this nice heart-shaped leaf, and it reminds me of the ones that my mom used to have, like I said. So I'm gonna have these sit for a while by the window, on the window sill over there, till it gets some roots, and then I'm gonna pot it up. So hopefully, as the years go by, I'll have many more of these. Can you take these for me, please, dear? I don't want to have it sitting out there. And this can go back in the refrigerator. So yeah, she every day like, oh, she says she's taking everyone. Good night. Thanks for coming, Nikki. I hope that you'll be able to join in the collab. If you can't, then that's fine. I understand. So we're gonna wrap it up now. Let me see now. I just want to make sure. So he did say, like, because we said enjoy the people, the culture, the drinks, check out the food first, what's in there to make sure that nothing is gonna bother you too much. Carry all of your stuff that you need to be safe. And don't travel alone. As far as your safety goes, that's another big one. You travel alone, but leaving your house alone, but
Yes.
you had people that you travel with in the group, so
Yes.
they help to protect. So you have that protection. So don't go out by yourself. Just try to stay with a group and be safe. Go to safe places. If it doesn't feel good in your gut down here, then I would say you probably shouldn't do it, because you're gonna say something.
Full
I can tell.
disclosure, I got lost in Tokyo.
Oh my God. It's a busy city though, so that's a good part. Don't go down in the dark alleys. Oh gosh. Did you speak any Japanese?
Not a lick. All I could say was arigato gozaimasu when they were helping me, and I had to say thank you. Just arigato gozaimasu.
Oh, my son is fluent in Japanese, my older son. And like I said, we had an exchange student for 4 days when he was in high school. He came and he stayed with us for a couple of days. So that's where my lovely fans came from, for those who came on late. Isn't this pretty? This is the real deal right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so get some souvenirs, guys. I did show you a couple of souvenirs, like this wonderful one here that shows you like Dunn's River Falls. Very, very beautiful. This one, my neighbor went to Bethlehem and Jerusalem, and she got me this. Like, this is a nativity scene, very nice. But watch out for some of the tourist traps. So some of the places, they're really pushing the price up because they know that you're a tourist and it's ridiculously high. This is also from Japan. They call it, I think it's Ryukyu. I'm probably not saying it right, but it's a special, my husband says Ryukyu. But this right here is from over there. It's specially made, and this is the real deal. Can I show you my little teapot? You may have seen this in a previous video that I did. Just a short it was though. My son got me this from a souvenir store. So, get some good ones. Watch out for them. Watch out for the tourist traps. T-shirts are good. What you call them now? Magnets for your refrigerator and stuff like that. Take something back if you can afford to for your friends. But like you said, take lots and lots of pictures. Pictures are good. They're good for memories. People want to put them in social media. And as I said, I don't want to put them on after I come back or on the way back. So that way, you feel like people, your home is secure. There's no one watching your house or whatever. But yes, good for posterity, sharing with other people, just a good time you had. And, just to give them ideas of what they could do when their time comes around. Because we like to celebrate each other. Today might be my up day. Today's your down day. And then we switch roles. And then, one helps the other. So that's a good thing there. So, okay. So I'm just checking along on the chat. And this one here was when you went because we went on a mission trip. I know Anna from the Grace Lab DIY, she came back from a Indian reservation trip. Well, we had gone on a mission trip to Eleuthera, Bahamas. And see, this is very simple but beautiful. It's just like a sea stone that they have here. It has a rough texture to it. And the lady, she painted the things on here and the flag of the Bahamas and the thing that says there. And it has a little magnet on the back, and that's it. It's nice to give to a friend or, to put on your refrigerator for yourself to remember those good memories. So it can be a mission trip. The similar rules that we discussed here apply as well. It can be for fun. It can be for business. Like I said, for somebody's wedding. Just for you time with your family, but the same rules apply to most of those things. And again, stay hydrated, have your medications, all of those things. And if you're going on the water and you're not a swimmer, even if you're not a very strong swimmer, always try to get a life jacket. And I think that happens a lot. Like, for lakes too, people go to lakes and figure, oh, I can swim in the lake. Swimming in a lake, I'm told, is different than swimming in the ocean. So if you're on a boat or something, get a life jacket. I mean, people have to say whatever they want to say. At the end of the day, you want to make it back home safely, right? So you can't always follow what people tell you. You have to do what works best for you. So if you can get a life jacket, I would say definitely do so. You're going to say something?
No, I completely agree. No shame.
Right.
Be safe.
So some of the places that we've been to, and you can put in the comments any countries that you have been to. Oh, here is Renee. Hi, Renee. You're on the tail end, honey. Thank you so much for joining us. Pretty things, home decor, fashion, lifestyles. You can see what our channel name tells you everything. She does a lot of beautiful decor for homes, fashion, lives, and all of those things is what she's about. I like her shopping hauls and her shopping trips, and she shows you, she gives you ideas of stuff you can get for the season. So that's good. But so we're just gonna list some of the places that we have been to. Oh, and I almost forgot. Since we are on here, Deborah is having a collaboration coming up on May 5th. It's a Cinco de Mayo tablescape that she's doing. Mine's gonna be more about flowers because I'm tying it to the garden as much as I can whenever I can. But it is an open collaboration, so it's on May 5th, and I think it's 6 p.m. But it's on her channel anyway, so you can see it right there. So if you wanted to do like a tablescape, if that's your thing, or you wanted to do something that blends into your niche, maybe cleaning and fixing up for that day or whatever, it just depends on what you like, or just want to celebrate the country or the colors, whatever works for you. That's an open collaboration that she has that you can join. And you can check on her channel too and see for more details if that's something that you would want to do. But just to say some of the places that we have been to, can tell you some of the places that you have been to. Not many different countries for me. I am from Jamaica and I live in the US, and I've been to the Bahamas. And I think that's as far as many countries that I've gone to, as far as traveling within the United States, because it's not always necessarily about going to South Beach, Florida or whatever, or Myrtle Beach or whatever. You can also go to different places in the country where you're living. We've been to quite a few states over here: California, New York, Tennessee, Kentucky,
Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio, absolutely. Where else again? Quite a few places. I haven't been to Texas. I'm trying to remember all of them. At least 10 different states I've been to over here to kind of, just because, each state has their own culture. So things are a little bit different, slightly different. And they have their own national state flower. They have different meals that they have sometimes depending on where you are. So, but those are 3 countries. But like I said, I try to go to different states in the US. But in the future, I'm going to try to see if I can go to different places. So, Andrea, because you have been to more countries than I have, maybe less states, but more countries. So you wanted to share with them some of the countries that you have been to. You did say Japan first.
Japan, Panama, and I've been to Canada a couple of times, Montreal and Toronto. And I'm trying to think.
But when you were a baby, you went to the Bahamas. But I've been there a couple of times as an adult.
Yes.
So that's quite a few countries, right? Canada. You can tell us, guys, if you been to any other countries, where you've been to, and if you wanted to say anything about your experiences. But somebody may want to brush up a little bit on the language, because just basic, like she said, she knew something to say in Japanese. So let's say if you're going to France and they like when you speak a little French, they'll help you if you try to speak a little bit of French. So just at least get some words: bathroom, water, food, hello, thank you, goodbye, like getting a taxi or a cab or whatever they take. Just some basic words, some foods that you would like cheese, fromage, I remember that. Bread, just basic stuff, chicken, beef, whatever you eat, just some, like some cookies or just something, tea, something to drink, just some basic words. You can kind of help yourself along. And they'll be happy to work with you. Like for Spanish, it's a little easier for me because I did that in school. So I know a few words, a few phrases and stuff. So
Mexico.
Oh, so you went to Mexico too. That's another country again. So I can kind of navigate the waters a little bit. But yes, at least just a few words to help yourself out if they speak a different language. So it kind of helps you out a little bit. So let's so let me see. So Deborah is talking about her collaboration that's coming up. So it is Cinco de Mayo, and she has 2. She has Cinco de Mayo coming up, and she has Mother's Day as well. So she has 2 collabs coming up. So be sure to stop by her channel and check those out. She says it's raining hard, and the weather's kind of like been unpredictable these days, to be honest. So I can certainly understand that. We've been on here for a little while, and a lot of people came in afterward. But I'm so glad to have all of you. I appreciate your thumbs up. My sister appreciates you all so much. I don't want to keep you too much longer, but and the sun. She says it's raining where she is, but because where we are, the sun sets a little bit later. I didn't even realize how late it was until I looked up, and I was like, okay, I've been on here for a while, but it's just so much fun with you guys. We're having fun, right? It's absolutely sharing thoughts and ideas and everything. So, we had a really good time today as usual. Thank you guys so much. Check out our channels, Andrea's, Deborah's, mine, Renee's, OCD Chick. She went off already. Mondale was here. She said she's going to catch a replay. Farmer V. I'm just scrolling through really quick to see if I missed anyone. Pastor Juanita, she's with Rock of Faith Deliverance Center. Mike? No, the channels, the people who have channels. Lorna's Decor, she was here earlier too. So quite a few ladies. I hope I didn't miss anyone. But yeah, be sure to check them out. And, they have videos that they promote, weekly. So, stop by and see what they're doing. So thank you all so much. Have a wonderful evening. Stay tuned to our videos. We appreciate you so much. Deborah says, thanks, Marlene and Andrea. Have a good night. Yes, my dear.
Bye, Deborah.
Lorna says she's still here. Yay. So, Lorna, if you could join us on the porch refresh, that would be awesome. It doesn't have to be anything, but you can just show us even a little corner. I'm not forcing you, of course. I'm not pressuring you or anything, but we'd love to have you join us. Just show a little area. Or could it even be if you have like plants by your foyer inside, you can do that too. Just clean it up. Just so you clean it, because I know you clean stuff too. And then you put, just a few things here and there just to show us how you place them next to the door or, outside, whatever you like. And we'll just roll them on in, But again, it's free. So if you want to, you can. If you don't, we're not going to say that you have to or anything. And of course, you know that. But we certainly thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Enjoy your family. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. And we just love you all so much and appreciate your supporting of these lives. It means a lot. We really appreciate you. All right. So have a good night, guys. Take care from us and from my family. Bye.